Some viewers may find the following video disturbing. Viewer discretion is advised.
At the very same time that America refused to give the Negro any land, our government was giving away millions of acres of land in the West and the Midwest, which meant that it was willing to undergird its white peasants from Europe with an economic floor. But not only did they give the land, they built land-grant colleges with government money to teach them how to farm. Not only that, they provided county agents to further their expertise in farming. Not only that, they provided low interest rates in order that they could mechanize their farms. Not only that, today many of these people are receiving millions of dollars in federal subsidies not to farm, and they are the very people telling the black man that he ought to lift himself by his own bootstraps. And this is what we are faced with, and this is the reality. Now, when we come to Washington in this campaign, we are coming to get our check.
I remember when the ATL wasn't banging, now they banging, 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 banging. Niggas throwing sets and them bullets start ringing, bitches banging, 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 banging. I remember when the ATL wasn't banging, now they banging, 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 banging. Niggas throwing sets and them bullets start ringing like bang, 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 bitch, nigga, bang, 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 bang.
Hate me now, enemies gon' hate me now. Enemies gon' hate me now, enemies gon' hate me now. Hate me now, enemies. Hustlers got some mana, but I handle that, so hate me now. Got the Louis Slugger, you better cover when I hit a foul. You better be so quick to get it hip when the pistol show. All my niggas get me creeping slow, and we on that blow. That I use, searching for an easy man. Demon in me wakes, now I shake and don't feel okay. Yeah, I'm terrified in my mind, so corrupted too. Here's so blizzo, here's so shoot your kids on, send you his on, get your miss on ride. Enemy so close to me, especially gon' hate me now. Motivated jealousy, but still I elevate somehow. Violent face all in my space, deep inside you hating me. Take that loaded Glock 19 and kill that count with courtesy. Enemy so close to me, especially gon' hate me now. Motivated jealousy, but still I elevate somehow. Violent face all in my space, deep inside you hating me. Take that loaded Glock 19 and kill that count with courtesy. Hate me now, hate me now. Enemies gon' hate me now. Hate me now. Enemies.
You hate me now, nigga, damn, I thought we was cool. You hate me now, I thought we was cool. You mad at me now, but all I do is laughing. Then chop a bullet, split him up like he a fraction. He run up on me, think it's chicken, now he past tense. Yes, I am evil, Chris, but also Trace, so blast him. I catch him loafing, I'ma up the gun and let it bust. I got them niggas in the car ready to shoot shit up. You mention me, boy, I'ma kill a best, not test your luck. Yo, bitch, a groupie, all up in my DMs tryna fuck. These niggas lying in they songs, you know they capping. I'm on the block, I put in work, you niggas slacking. My nigga get jammed up and then we go and post bail. But if your nigga run up, we gon' send his ass to hell. Ain't have a ruler, kept a Ruger when I was in school. I'm hitting ops with this stick like I'm playing pool. Handy manny in this bitch, we got all the tools. You hate me now, damn nigga, I thought we was cool. We was cool.
Bless, Leif, Cleanse. Cat in the building with the tape fist tight. Ricardo on the mic, yeah, he's spitting that fight. Mike is right with the vision so clear. Political prophet dropping truth in your ear. Progressive moves, but we keeping it raw. Individual minds breaking every damn law. Social conservatism got the crowd in a trance. Tape fist politics, we advance in the stance. Put your tape fist in the air, let it rise. Feel the power of the truth in your eyes. From the left to the right, we unite. Tape fist politics gonna shine so bright. MD20 in the cut with the plan. Building up the movement with a taped up hand. Progressive dreams in a conservative frame. Individual voices calling out every name. Progressive moves, but we keeping it raw. Individual minds breaking every damn law. Social conservatism got the crowd in a trance. Tape fist politics, we advance in the stance. Put your tape fist in the air, let it rise. Feel the power of the truth in your eyes. From the left to the right, we unite. Tape fist politics gonna shine so bright.
New golden age. New golden age. A new golden age. A new golden age.
In the councils of government, we must guard against the acquisition of unwarranted influence, whether sought or unsought, by the military-industrial complex.
The following announcement has been paid for by Tape Fits Politics.
Peace. What's going on? What's happening? Hey, another rendition, y'all. Tape Fist Politics. We in the house. Waiting on my co-host to come up. Hey, how y'all doing this wonderful Thursday? Hey, good to be here, man. As I look at today, I reflect back on my life and what's in store for me next. So today is my birthday. I turned the big 4-0 today, y'all. The big 4-0. I woke up this morning, man. It was kind of surreal. It was kind of surreal thinking that, damn, man, I'm 40 years old, man. All this gray hair shit all in my beard and all in my head. I ain't going to say, you know, it's going to get to a point where I hit a midlife crisis because I ain't that type of person. It is what it is. All I can say is I thank the Lord that I'm still here. All I want to see as I look back and I guess step over a threshold when it comes to this thing that we call life, right? As I look back and I thank the Lord, all I want to do is see my kids and make sure that they okay. And they gonna be able to traverse through this shit we call life. That's all I want. That's all I want to see. Once I see that, I'm good to go. I'm good to go. I can go and clock out. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, I ain't young no more. I realize that it is what it is. It's something that we all go through. And you know, a party till you can't party no more. Van Cat, what's up, man?
What's going on, MD? Happy birthday.
Thank you, man. Like I said, man, just the thought of me being 40, bro, it's surreal. I said, hey, it is what it is. Like I said, man, I woke up this morning, I said, damn, I'm 40 years old, bro. I'm 40.
Yep.
Ain't that about a bit. I can't call myself young no more. I guess to some, they'll still consider you that. Not me, bro. Not me,
When you get over 40, gotta check them eyes because those over 40 eyes can see a little different, no
Hey,
matter who you are.
Yeah, I already know that, man. Like I said, I put the spectacles on when I need them, bro. I put the spectacles on when I need them.
And then you'll be having a line of forgetting things every now and then. That over 40 mind is real.
See, and this why TFP is such an important thing to me. And just containing knowledge in general, bro. I'm always and you know this, Van Cat, I've always said it. All I do all day long, I'm in this damn thought box. It was try to consume as much shit as I possibly can. It ain't necessarily got to be politics. It's mostly politics, but other stuff. You know what I'm saying? That way, I make sure I keep my mind sharp, bro. Because I don't want to be that person. I do not want to be that person, bro. Forgetful Joe. I ain't trying to be that. You know what I'm saying? I done seen people in my life get to that point, and I don't want it. I don't want it. So I try to keep as sharp as I can. You know what I'm saying? But hey, at the end of the day, again, like I always say, bro, the duck comes for us all. So it is what it is. Hey, look, man, we got a action-packed show. We got a lot of stuff to cover, Van Cat. So we're gonna try to get through it as much as possible. I don't even know if we're gonna be able to get through it all, but we damn sure
It's
gonna
been
try.
an active week.
Well, you're right about that. You're right about that. So I forgot to get the screenshot. I wanted to get the screenshot of the headline itself, but we ain't really got to. It's a sidebar. So and it goes to the topic, the politics of money, which is today's episode, episode number 3. It is 3, right? 3, yeah, 3.
Yes.
The
Yes.
politics of money. The politics of money. Everything that we're gonna cover today is gonna be in the realm of economics, some type of way. With that being said, sidebar, WWE announced their new PLE deal with ESPN.
Horrible. Horrible for the fans, man. Horrible.
So the app is gonna be like a direct to customer type app where they're gonna it's basically a la carte where you don't have to have any type of other subscription to watch all the lines of ESPN. I guess 1 through 8, how many ever ESPNs they got.
Mm-hmm.
And you'll pay a flat fee of $29.99, $30, and you'll be able to watch all.
MD and foes. Oh. MD and foes. Can you hear me, MD? Oh. WWE got him. God damn, Triple H works fast, man. This guy faster than Vince McMahon. He took us out quick. MD, you hear? Oh boy, Triple H done got us. All right, folks, hold on. The WWE probably got us. We can't talk about them, I guess. They got us. They got our ass. MD, try to go out and then come back in. Yeah. So while MD is coming back in, I'll kind of like add my piece on there. So yeah, like MD was saying, WWE is now in 2026, starting 2026. They're going to have all of the PLEs. They're going to have PLE stands for Premium Live Event, and they're going to have 10 PLEs from WWE. In the past, they've had 12, sometimes more PLEs. They'll have like 2 in 1 month, close to 3 in a month at certain times. But now they're doing 10 in 2026 in 12 months. And that includes Royal Rumble 2 nights. That includes SummerSlam 2 nights, WrestleMania 2 nights, probably be a Survivor Series 2 nights. So at least the big 4 pay-per-views for the fall, spring, winter, and summer. The OG classic events, Royal Rumble, SummerSlam, Survivor Series, WrestleMania 2 night pay-per-views. Those are included in the PLE for ESPN. 10 of them next year, 2026, instead of 12. And then you also get the content of ESPN. From my viewpoint of it, it might sound good. Maybe this would have been a good thing in like 15 years ago, but right now it ain't. Because we're spoiled with Peacock. You could get Peacock for like $5.99 for there was like a $19.99 for 1 year. Flat $19.99 I get it for free because I get it bundled with my Xfinity. So I don't even pay for Peacock.
Yeah.
And now you're telling me
is NBC. So yeah, it comes with it, so.
Yep, and they're telling me now I gotta put down $30 a month, 12 months. Like that's crazy. And it's only gonna go up from there. It's not gonna stay $29.99.
Oh yeah.
And
You already know that.
Some people will say, okay, well, AEW, they're $50 for their pay-per-view each. This is a way better deal. Plus, you get ESPN content, but I don't look at it that way.
The WWE brand, the way see, and this is the funny thing, capitalism, right?
Yep.
When you're such a powerhouse economically like WWE, you can get into media deals where your gate is the main focus and really the streams aren't. That was the whole point of the WWE network, and eventually when they went to Peacock, is to get more eyes on the brand. You're still making your money because you're still getting ad revenue and the money that you made in the initial deal. When you making big dollars, that's the whole point. It doesn't really come from a sense of trying to make more profit, which WWE is still doing, because look how much it costs to go to a damn show. But in the sense of not asses in seats in the crowd, but eyes on the TV. You know what I'm saying? That was the whole point. Vince McMahon made that clear with the whole branding of the WWE network. Then you turn around and go to Peacock, which was fine. I mean, even if you don't got any of, like me, I don't have any deal. It's $14.99 a month for Peacock. That's fine. I watch every single PLE, plus y'all add more and more stuff. It ain't to the quality that the WWE network was, but it's getting there. Now you want to turn around and say, okay, the elite stuff is going to go on the ESPN app. Now, keep in mind, Vacant, we don't even know how that's really going to work. They could be trying to ESPN Plus us, where you're going to have to pay a premium fee like they do in UFC. And I'll tell you, if they do that, it's a wrap. I'm not watching WWE program, no, at least not the PLE stuff.
I've already bailed out on the $29.99 is enough for me to bail out.
Yeah.
Because imagine, how these WWE pay-per-views are. Out of the 10 or 12 that they have all year long, maybe you might have 2 that was like, oh, that was worth it. and the rest all year long is just some mediocre, skating along mediocre stuff. So that's not good enough for me. I'm not paying money to see guys go through the motion, to see guys get jobbed out. No, that's just not going to work. It's just we'll see how it works, because some people may think they're into it. I'm not into it like that. It's got to be like, you talk about premium live event, it needs to actually be premium in it live event for me. You can't go through the motions like some of the stuff we've seen just at SummerSlam alone. Even though there was some good stuff at SummerSlam, there was enough there that I'd be like, I wouldn't have paid for that. So there's no way in hell. There's no way in hell.
Yeah, in retrospect, man, SummerSlam was not very good.
No, it's not. The more days that go by, the worse it gets. You see it in your mind.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I still hold to the fact that night 2 was better than night 1.
Of course.
That ain't saying. That ain't saying
it's
much.
because of the same reason all these events that they've had that were good is because of the guys that don't get the shine. How much longer Street Profits going to continue like this, where they don't get the prime spots, but when they do get on there, they're usually a part of something good. So they got to retool how they doing that, and Gunther needs to go straight to hell. He's just half-assing. Oh my God!
You know what? That was a BS match. But like I told you in the chat, I don't blame Gunther for it. CM Punk is a wrap, man. It's a done deal. And like I said, I'm part of that could just be like you said, going through the motions of the match. And I don't know if you saw some of the clips that came out. Now I haven't watched WWE Unreal. I ain't that invested, right?
Yeah, I didn't watch it either. I didn't watch it.
But I have seen some clips that it upset me, bro. It upset me.
Yeah.
So they showed a clip when they did the Netflix debut. The Punk and Rollins match, I believe it was.
Yeah.
They were talking about how the producers put together matches and all that and all. Abyss. They literally go to Gorilla. That again, we talking about pro wrestling here. We understand that it's choreographed to some degree, but part of the technique and the work ethic of a lot of wrestlers, especially late 80s, early 90s, mid 90s, those guys put into their craft where they could call matches. WWE don't do that, and that was revealing to me. They literally call every spot to the referee, and then the referee tells everybody what to do in the ring. I said, hell no.
Maybe that's why it's so problematic lately, Or we're not getting those standout moments.
It could be. But like I said, with CM Punk, I think it's time for you to go on hang the boots up, man. Because that was ridiculous, man.
And with Brock Lesnar coming out, they're like thumping their chest like that was so great. That moment was great for like 10 seconds for me. When you heard the little music, but once he got out there, once you look at him, and then when you know what it means, because first of all, they act like, Brock Lesnar going to be a full-timer, and he's going to be here, and he's going to do this, but having Brock Lesnar is like having The Rock almost. You're just going to see him in limited moments, limited spots. Whatever he's doing, he don't really care to do it. He's just trying to get paid. And that's about it. So that's not any thrilling thing there for me. It was just the initial, and now it's like dissipated.
Yeah. And not to mention the hypocrisy of even bringing him back with what he was implicated in.
Oh, yeah. So, that was just ridiculous right there.
I mean, y'all done got rid of people. Right. Y'all done got rid of people for less. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Now I understand that technically he didn't do anything illegal. I get that.
He didn't do anything illegal because he didn't get the chance. He fell asleep. Okay?
Yeah, he was drunk sleep.
It wasn't like he was like, nah, man, I'm good. No, he didn't say that at all. It just he fell asleep. Oh boy. This is
Hey,
like
man.
some Three Stooges stuff, man.
So yeah, like I said, man, we'll see how that goes. And because I lost my connection, I had to come back. Now I got to reload everything back into the because some
Oh,
stuff I got to present.
okay, right.
Yeah, but that's cool. That's cool. All right. So what we gonna do? We gonna get into the leading story, and yeah, we will be right back after this.
The SEC defines insider trading as buying or selling a security in breach of a fiduciary duty or other relationship of trust and confidence, while in possession of material, non-public information about the security. Insider trading has long been the bane of Wall Street, its regulators, and law enforcement. And some Wall Street heavy hitters have paid a heavy price. But insider trading isn't just done by wealthy financiers or celebrities. Politicians have unique insight into what most outsiders don't.
The size and scope of what Congress is involved in has broadened dramatically. I mean, whether it's healthcare, whether it's defense, whether it's financial markets, and they have market-moving information, and they're going to act on that information. I mean, information is king.
A groundbreaking 2004 study by a group of professors and researchers examined the records of U.S. senators in 1993 and 1998. The study found that a portfolio tracking the stocks that the U.S. senators bought during the same time period outperformed the market by 85 basis points each month, and a portfolio that tracked the stocks that the senators sold during the period lagged behind the market by 12 basis points. The study concluded that the senators knew appropriate times to both buy and sell their common stocks.
Either they're geniuses at trading on the stock market, or they had some inside information that we did not have.
Insider trading by corporate insiders is a criminal offense, but those rules are ambiguous for congressional lawmakers.
If you sit on the Senate Armed Services Committee and you know that a bill is going to pass that's going to benefit certain defense contractors, and you buy stock based on that information, many legal scholars would say no, insider trading laws don't apply because it doesn't involve material corporate knowledge.
In 2006, the Stop Trading on Congressional Knowledge Act was introduced. It would prohibit members and employees of Congress from profiting on non-public information they obtained in their official roles. Its co-sponsors, Congressman Brian Baird of Washington, Congresswoman Louise Slaughter of New York, urged the Department of Justice to investigate how widespread insider trading was on the Hill. It received 13 co-sponsors and died shortly thereafter. The 2008 financial crisis turned out to be a free-for-all for insider trading on Capitol Hill. According to a Washington Post expose, 35 members, including then-Minority Leader John Boehner, cashed out on information they received from meetings with Treasury Secretary Hank Paulson and others.
So I think there had always been sort of an understanding that this behavior was going on, and there was evidence that it was. But when you had the virtual collapse of the markets in 2008, it really brought into relief in a dramatic way. That was really sort of a seminal event because it offered this laboratory, this test case that you could examine.
A 2020 study published in the Journal of Finance found evidence of abnormal trading practices 30 days before the government dispersed stimulus funds during the 2007 to 2009 financial crisis. Those trading practices were most pronounced from corporate insiders with recent political connections.
That is a good and necessary thing.
In 2012, the Stop Trading on Congressional Knowledge Act, or STOCK Act, finally passed.
We were sent here to serve the American people and look out for their interests, not to look out for our own interests.
What the Stock Act did is it made perfectly clear that members of Congress stand in a trust and confidence, and that duty is owed to the U.S. government and to the citizens of the United States.
This time, the bill passed overwhelmingly, 417 to 2 in the House and 96 to 3 in the Senate. Senator Burr, a Republican from North Carolina, was one of 3 senators who voted against it.
You also had this sort of interesting confluence in American politics at the time. You had Occupy Wall Street, which was primarily a liberal left phenomenon. You had the Tea Party, which was a libertarian or conservative movement, both very distrustful of what was going on Wall Street and what political figures were doing as it related to passage of the Stock Act.
In March 2020, news spread that 4 U.S. senators, including Burr, were being investigated for insider trading.
Ahead of the drastic escalations in this pandemic, while still reassuring citizens that the U.S. was prepared.
Senator Burr vehemently denies the allegations against him, but here's what we know. On January 24th, the Senate's Health Committee held a briefing with CDC Director Robert Redfield and White House pandemic advisor Dr. Anthony Fauci, according to the Washington Post. About 2 weeks later, Burr and Tennessee Senator Lamar Alexander wrote a Fox News editorial that the U.S. was better prepared than ever to deal with a pandemic like the coronavirus. Less than a week later, the Dow set an all-time record, hitting just over 29,551 points. On February 13th, Burr sold between $630,000 and $1.7 million worth of investments. He did it in 33 separate transactions, and he didn't buy a single share. Perhaps worse, Burr may have discussed the stock sales with his brother-in-law and others, according to reporting by ProPublica and a secret recording obtained by NPR.
There's one thing that I can tell you about this. It is much more aggressive in its transmission than anything that we have seen in recent history. It's probably more akin to the 1918 pandemic.
Not only is that turning it into a conspiracy, but you're creating potential witnesses against you. I mean, the brother-in-law is going to be questioned by the FBI, and either he's going to have to be honest and possibly incriminate her, or he's going to lie, and that's a crime in and of itself.
Burr released a statement. I relied solely on public news reports. I spoke this morning with the chairman of the Senate Ethics Committee and asked him to open a complete review of the matter with full transparency.
Yes, Scott, Mitch McConnell just announcing that Senator Burr is going to step down as the chairman of the Senate Intelligence Committee.
That investigation into his trades is ongoing.
He had already announced he was not going to run for re-election in 2022, so perhaps he, was going to save his retirement. I don't know, but it was a very egregious case.
Georgia's junior Senator Kelly Loeffler was at the same January 2020 briefing as Burr. And over the next 2 weeks, Loeffler and her husband Jeffrey Sprecher, the CEO of Intercontinental Exchange and chairman of the New York Stock Exchange, sold between $1.2 and $3.1 million worth of stocks.
And also purchases a big chunk of stock in Citrix, which runs like telemeeting software, which just seems like amazing luck.
I don't find out about these trades until these reports are compiled at the end of the reporting period, so I had no knowledge of these companies, and in fact it was a mix of buys and sells.
Oklahoma Senator Jim Inhofe sold as much as $400,000 in stocks on January 27, 2020.
We're learning that this insider trading investigation on Capitol Hill by the FBI is more wide-ranging than we knew even this morning. Senator Dianne Feinstein's office now confirming.
The lone Democrat to be implicated, California Senator Dianne Feinstein and her husband, are reported to have traded somewhere between $1.5 million and $6 million worth of stocks in a nearly 3-week period between January 31st and February 18th.
It's a very troubling sort of thing. And my point would be that ought to be investigated. How you prove in a legal context insider trading is one issue, but we'd be better off with a system that simply said you can't own private equities in this manner, or your assets that are in a blind trust and you don't even know what the mix is.
Sarah, the Wall Street Journal is reporting, according to its sources, that the Department of Justice is going to be closing the investigations of...
On May 26, 2020, the investigation into Loeffler, Feinstein, and Inhofe was closed.
If you're very sophisticated about this, you're going to be able to get away with it and have enough plausible deniability so that you're not going to be held into account.
Meanwhile, the presidential campaign of Joe Biden announced in July 2020 it was banning stock trading by staff members. The decision came a few months after a pointed March warning from the SEC against illegal trading during the coronavirus disruption. The Trump campaign did not respond to CNBC's request for comment on its stock trading policy.
All right, so there you have it. I thought that was an
Deeply
important video
troubling.
to share.
Yeah,
I
that
thought
was
that was important.
that was a
Right,
great
go ahead.
video piece there. That was a great video piece. That need to be seen. That's the kind of stuff that just bothers the hell out of me, man. They shouldn't even be allowed to associate with the stock market. Because of the severity of their job and the knowledge that they get. There should just be no trading at all. I don't give a frick. You need to find another way to make money, bro, because this is just ridiculous.
Hey, I agree.
It's funny, like workers that work in connection with the lottery can't do anything with the lottery. And like you're working as part of the federal government, and you're getting information that's unfair to people outside of government, and you're using. It's very clear that they've been using that to get. And in that piece, the guy says, "Are they really smart, or are they getting information?" I guarantee they ain't smart.
Yeah.
Guaranteed.
Yeah, they in order not in the piece they targeted Richard Burr. I remember when that whole thing was going on during COVID with Burr and like it was a big thing on the news and locally in Atlanta with Kelly Loeffler. Like, bro, these people knew, and remember Trump tried to downplay it as much as possible. Meanwhile,
Of course,
Burr was in the background saying, "Hey, look, it's about to go down. Everything is about to shut down." And we know the specifics in regards to what industry is going to shut down. So he sold off all of these stocks at its highest point, Van Cat.
Yep.
At its highest point, 2 weeks later, the market crashed because of COVID. He knew it, and not only did he knew it, he knew the specifics. When they talked about the 2008, which was that was the damnable part in that particular piece. In 2008, they knew specific sub industries that had to do with the housing markets where they bought in prior to the stimulus. So they knew what industries, what markets were going to be affected, because the stimulus is going to do what? It's going to boost the economy, therefore boost an industry. They knew what exact industries were going to get boosted because of the stimulus, bought into those stocks, and made millions of dollars back at.
It's ridiculous.
Millions of dollars.
What part of the game
because
is
they
this?
were sitting in on the subcommittee hearings talking about what industries was going to get the boost. They knew everything. Yep. So, hey, I agree with you wholeheartedly, bro. If you work in the public sector, like your private part of your life is over with. It's a wrap.
Right.
Because you have a distinct advantage that nobody else got.
Yep.
You know the wheelings and dealings of what's going on from a government aspect that's going to affect people like you and me in regards to the economy. You know it. So it's ridiculous, man. And I thought that video portrayed it perfectly. I believe that video was done in 2021. Go ahead.
And what's worse is, like you just said, they know the things that are being affected in the economy. And with that knowledge, they go full in to self-interest and preservation, meaning let me make money off of the knowledge I know and do things to make that money to affect me. But that information is supposed to be utilized to help to improve the constituents and the states and the country in general as a whole. They're supposed to be using that information to help better make this damn society more efficient. And they're not. It's a purposeful gridlock, and we're not doing anything to have progression in our society.
Hey, I agree with that, man.
We're conserving the struggle, y'all. What the hell, man?
Now that part I agree with. Like I said, me and Van Cat don't usually agree when it comes to economics. That part I agree with. there is some type of Keynesian method. Now, I'm a capitalist at the end of the day. I don't phase from that part.
He's the captain of the capitalists.
But when it comes to what the government can do, their job is to focus on specific industries,
right,
and make them better or make them innovative.
Right.
Like in a utopian capitalistic world, that wouldn't be the case. But I understand we don't live in a capitalistic utopia. I get that. So I got to be realistic. I got to use the Keynesian method as we progress. And my ideology of progressivism is society at large progressing through technology, industry, labor, so on and so forth.
Right.
You can only do that in this current apparatus. You can only do that through government, because government has the endless capacity to supply whatever thing that you're trying to innovate, create, whatever. That they're the only people that can do it. That's just a fact. At this current time, they're the only people that can do it. And when
The United States government made the internet, for God's sake. Not to mention endless illness resolutions for like vaccines and medicine and stuff like that. That all comes from the freaking federal government, and then they just give it to the
they finance it.
Right. That all starts with the federal government. Ain't no damn company doing any of the work. The heavy lifting ain't done by them.
Well, now I disagree with that.
They don't do any of the heavy lifting. Come on now,
R&D. Nah, I can't go with that. I would say the R&D, the research and development, the creation overall is done by several institutions, whether it be universities, private companies, so on and so forth. Hell, you could even put venture capitalists, hedge fund managers.
Ain't none of that moving without the government's money.
I agree with that. That's what I was about to say.
It starts with the government, and then everything else follows suit.
Okay,
and the money that the government shell out is a different level of money.
I got you. You're exactly right. So we'll meet middle way with that.
It's not. Yeah, it's not under the same rules.
Yeah, all I was saying was when it comes to the innovation part of creation of technology or innovation in medical science, whatever it may be, the people in and of itself, the institutions, the venture capitalists, whatever, they're the ones. I don't want to say laboring because that'll sound too proletarian, but they're the ones.
Don't do much. They'll do much.
So all right, let's look at an example.
Yeah.
And this is another story that I wasn't able to put into this. So they announced this week several universities, Emory, I believe they said, there was another university, I think in Ohio somewhere, that was doing top level research and development on RNA, which could basically brick wall any type of future variants of COVID. Trump shut all that down this week. Shut it down. Well, I say Trump by way of RFK Jr.
Well, there you go.
Those are the universities, the institutions innovating medical science. They doing it with the full backing of the federal government. No hands down.
There you go. They work for me.
Hey, I agree with you on that. All I'm saying is when it comes to the legwork, the institutions are the ones putting in the legwork. It can't be done without federal money, though. So me and you agree on that.
Yeah,
me and you agree on that. All right, so let's go to the next video in the same topic. So last week, a Senate subcommittee did something to me that I believe was shocking. There may be an ulterior motive to it, but let's check it out.
A bill that would prevent lawmakers and future presidents and vice presidents from trading stocks has advanced in the Senate, while President Trump criticized a key Republican supporting the measure. Missouri Senator Josh Hawley, who introduced the ban, was the only Republican to join Senate Democrats in voting to advance this bill, sending it out of committee and to a possible vote by the full Senate. After the vote, Trump called Hawley a, quote, second-tier senator on social media. Hawley later said he spoke with the president and they had a, quote, good chat. CBS News congressional reporter Torian Small joins me now. Torian, thanks for being here. What exactly would this bill do if it's passed?
Yeah, so Jolene, at the heart of this legislation is the essential barring of any elected federal official. That means lawmakers here on the Hill, as well as the vice president and president, from trading stocks. There's a provision in there, though, that appears to be the reason why the Missouri Republican senator and Josh Hawley is in the crosshairs of President Trump. And that provision states that those same officials, quote, would have to divest from securities, commodities, futures, options, trusts, and other comparable holdings. According to Senator Hawley, he had a conversation with President Trump not too long after that post on Truth Social, and he had to clear up some misconceptions about this bill. He says that the president told him that he thought he would have to sell off Mar-a-Lago and other assets if this were to go forward. He told the president that that would not be the case because, if passed, this provision would kick in for elected officials next term, which means because Donald Trump would be term limited, he would not have a next term and would not be privy to this specific provision in this bill. However, other folks like J.D. Vance, the vice president, if he chooses to run, and of course other senators and congresspeople would be in line for this bill. The meat of this bill, though, again, that barring of stock trading, if passed, would kick in 90 days. That means everyone, including the president and vice president, would no longer have the ability to trade stocks while in office.
So we know how Senator Hawley feels about this, but all Republicans voted against this measure while in committee. What were the main arguments from Republicans against it?
Yeah, we heard from Republicans that this could potentially limit the enthusiasm or interest in folks running for office. They say that it's way too limiting and it's just not really necessary. Democrats, though, not all, I should say, because there are notable Democrats, especially in Democratic leadership, who have not signed on to any iteration of a stock trading bill. But quite a few progressives say that lawmakers, elected officials are privy to far too much information than the general public to be able to ethically trade stocks without having essentially insider information here. Ultimately, though, what's the likelihood that this will make it to the full floor for a vote in the Senate? It's not looking too likely, considering the fact that Leader Thune said that he does not see in any immediate future a chance for this bill to make it to the floor, even though it was voted out of that panel favorably.
Interesting. Thank you so much, Torian Small on Capitol Hill tonight.
This afternoon, President Trump mentioned you, and he made an allegation about your investments. I want to roll that clip and then give you a chance to respond.
Nancy Pelosi became rich by having inside information. She made a fortune with her husband, and I think that's disgraceful. Nancy Pelosi should be investigated because she has the highest return of anybody practically in the history of Wall Street, save a few.
That's ridiculous. In fact, I very much support the trading of members of Congress. Not that I think anybody's doing anything wrong. If they are prosecuted and they go to jail. But because of the confidence it instills in the American people, don't worry about this. But I have no concern about the obvious investments that had been made over time. I'm not into it. My husband is. But it isn't anything to do with anything insider. But the president has his own exposure, so he's always projecting. He's always projecting. And let's not give him any more time on that, please. We're going forward here.
All right, so
you can tell when a person is guilty. Let's just go forward. Let's go forward.
And the ironic part about all of this is the bill that they're trying to put on the floor is called the Pelosi Act. That shit is ironic as hell.
Yep.
Like, trust and believe, Pelosi been on this for years. She's just been
Mm-hmm.
under the radar. She's been under the radar. So again, so let's talk about the subcommittee in the Senate being able to get this through, which was incredible. I would have never thought that something like this could happen. Now, how far it's gonna go? Probably not far. Probably not far at all. But the fact that they were able to debate on it in the committee and pass it through to at least have debate on the floor is astonishing to me. Now, Josh Hawley voted for it, and Trump jumped all over it. So
Of course.
what they were talking about was the provision, or I guess you could say like an amendment within the bill, saying that essentially you got to sell off all your assets too, not just stop trading stocks. You got to sell off all your assets. Now, there's a famous thing that happened during the Carter administration. Everybody knows about it. When Carter became president, because he didn't want to look shady, what did he do?
He sold all his stuff.
He sold all his stuff off. Because he was like, y'all ain't about to get me in no
Exactly.
scandal. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Peanut farm that he sold a peanut farm.
Yep.
So
those days are long removed.
So, again, it's shameful that this even got to be a thing. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
If you're a public servant, meaning that you serve us, the American people, that should be your priority. No ifs, and buts about it.
The problem is that these politicians of today, they can't be looked upon to self-regulate. We can't assume and just say that, oh, they'll just do the right thing. It's been proven time and time again in recent history here that they will not do the right thing. Only right thing they're gonna do is what's right for them. So it's got to be actual rules presented that are real and have some real consequences to it. Because I just think that they shouldn't be able to do anything with stocks or anything to that level that is a compromise in what they know. They just, if you want to be this in the federal government, you can't do that in the federal government. That's it.
Hey, I 100% agree. And like I say, it's a thing that I always say. People laugh at it, but I would always say there's no such thing in morality. It's just not. Now, that's not me. That's not me saying that it's impossible to have morals. That'll be idiotic to say. Everybody got some type of morality, but your morality is your individual principle. You can't cover anybody else in that same morality. Not hell, you could try to teach them and so on and so forth, like your kids or whatever. But even them, even if they take something that you taught them and put it in their foundation of principles, it's still their own. You can't. It's no such thing as a broad ethic standard. It just ain't. The only way that you're gonna be able to dictate, quote unquote, right or wrong is through law. That's the only way that you can do it. Now it can be for bad or worse, because you can dictate law through what you would call ethics, or you could dictate it through control. It all depends on what type of government you got. So that that's good. That's a good point that you made. The only way this is gonna stop is if you put a consequence behind the fact. That's the only way it's gonna happen, folks. And it just is what it is. So Ricardo's supposed to be coming up here in a few minutes. So I'm gonna do the next segment because I want Ricardo, because he the one that brought it up. And you brought it up too, Venkat. So it's been a whole hoopla this week. And of course, we know we're going to get to the job report. As a matter of fact, let me do the job report first. So last week, the job numbers came out last week. And Trump was not happy about it. Not happy about it at all. So let's take a look at the jobs report. Then behind that, Ricardo should be up here. And we're going to talk about how it specifically impact Black folks. Let's get into it.
Yep.
Now, we start with breaking news. The new jobs report and the president's tariffs are dragging down U.S. markets at this moment. The July jobs report you see right next to me, this just came out moments ago, and it's weaker than expected. You have just 73,000 jobs added last month. But more concerning, the numbers for the previous 2 months have just been revised down by more than 200,000. So this is not encouraging economic information, and it comes as the president's new tariff plan is impacting more than 60 trading partners, including some that have already cut trade deals or at least frameworks. CBS News Money Watch correspondent Kelly O'Grady is making sense of all of this and explaining it to us in very straightforward ways, which we so appreciate. So Kelly, help us understand this jobs report, why its numbers and the revision downward from a previous report is discouraging.
So this gives us a sense that the labor market is slowing down significantly, right? I mean, that number coming in less than 100,000, which was where most analysts expected the July jobs report number to come in, was already concerning. But as you mentioned, we had revisions down to May and June as well, to the tune of over 200,000 jobs. And what that tells you is the significant slowdown is not just a July thing. This has been happening for the past few months. And really what made me nervous was in that June revision, when you look at it all together, it showed that the private sector, right, so not government, everything else, added only 3,000 jobs in June.
Wow.
That is a big red flag. And the reasons that we are seeing this, part of it is the new immigration policy. The White House or the Economic Council just shared why we're seeing some of these revisions. It's the new immigration policy as well as reaction to the tariffs. And anecdotally, we have heard from many businesses, and it is now showing up in the data, that they were very much on a wait and see approach. There was all of this shifting trade policy. They didn't want to make any huge decisions, lay off people, hire a bunch of people. And so they just paused. And that's reflected in the data. I think what's really going to be interesting is now what does the Fed do with interest rates?
Precisely,
because they have been very concerned about inflation ticking up because of these tariffs. But now you are seeing their other mandate, the job market, show weakness because of it. And I'll just note that the last time we saw 3 months in a row where the labor market added less than the 12-month average, you got a half-point rate cut. That was in September. That was that jumbo cut where the Fed looked at the picture and said, OK, we've got to do something to make sure that economic growth doesn't stall.
So as alarming as all of this data together seems for the moment, it may lead to a Fed rate reduction come September, the next time they have the shot.
Yes, that's right. What I will note, though, is before that meeting, we are going to get another jobs report and another inflation report. So there's going to be a lot of data that comes in. And just to sort of, I don't want anyone having a panic attack over their coffee right now. It's not great numbers, but this isn't, we've been through this before.
The sky isn't falling.
The sky isn't falling. This is not March of 2020.
But for viewers who are watching President Trump announce an August 7th deadline for trade agreements, all the uncertainty we have talked about so much around that, should people at home just realize that items will be slightly more expensive in the months ahead? Is that part of the new financial reality?
It is very possible. The other thing that I will note, though, is that over the past couple of months, we have had pretty much a baseline 10% tariff on most countries as well as sector tariffs. Right. We have seen imports coming into the country drop. And so what that the prices drop. And what that tells you is suppliers in these other countries have said, well, we want to make sure that people still buy our stuff in America. So we're going to lower our prices. So you don't see as much of an impact on you and me as a consumer. We also know that companies are absorbing a lot of these tariff costs because they want to make sure you and I keep going out.
At least at the front end.
Right. The thing is how long are they going to be able to navigate that? So I think you can expect, most economists do, some price increases on goods. It's just a wait and see of how much.
Not sending us into the weekend with too much excitement, but a fact check and a reality check that we desperately need. Kelly O'Grady, thank you so much.
President Trump is not backing down on his decision to fire one of the government's leading labor economists who was confirmed on a bipartisan 86-8 Senate vote last year. Now, the president called this week's jobs report phony, even though a group of prominent statisticians say his remarks are baseless and damaging. CBS White House reporter Willie James Edmond is traveling with the president tonight in New Jersey and has more on that story. Willie James.
Good evening to you, Jerika. President Trump is defending his decision to fire a top official at the Bureau of Labor Statistics.
President Trump on Friday explaining why he fired Bureau of Labor Statistics Commissioner Erica McIntyre.
I believe the numbers were phony, just like they were before the election, and there were other times. So you know what I did? I fired her. Right. And you know what? I did the right thing.
Government data showed 73,000 jobs were added to the U.S. economy last month, fewer than expected. The numbers for May and June were revised downward. Trump's move raising eyebrows on Capitol Hill.
Donald Trump has made clear he wants to politicize those statistics.
If the president is firing the statistician because he doesn't like the numbers, but they are accurate, then that's a problem.
Also this week, President Trump outlined new tariff rates for more than 60 nations, ranging from 10% up to 41%, the new rate starting August 7th. The list includes the European Union, which will face a 15% tariff, up from 10%.
A few different casualties.
Small business owners like Thea Merle have already felt the impact.
How much has this price risen based on tariffs?
I'd say right now about $1.50.
Some 90% of the products in her store are imported, many from the Mediterranean.
We definitely have had to raise prices. We've had to use a lot of creativity to figure out how to keep the same quality of goods in front of people.
With higher tariffs, Thea is working on creating more income streams for her business. Jerika?
Willie James Edmond, thank you.
All right, so there you have it. That's a brief summary. Hey, I just want to say this real quick. If you want to know how to spot American freedman, a black American, look no further than Willie James Inman. You don't get no more black American than that. Willie James, shout out to you, man. Yeah, for you made it, bro. You made it. But hey, look, I want to say this real quick. I'm gonna let you rock. Now, I don't deal with microeconomics. I don't know how the stock market work or this and that when it comes to small money. Macroeconomics, I deal with it. When you have less money in the economy and you want to stimulate that, one of the things that the Fed does, they'll cut rates. So it'll incentivize somebody to go out and spend money. Specifically on big loan type stuff, mortgages, car notes, so on and so forth. When it's too much money in the economy, the Fed will raise the rate, basically telling you, hey, stop. Don't spend no money right now. That's how the Federal Reserve works. Inversely, the labor market does pretty much the same thing. The labor market, as far as growth, if it's high unemployment, they'll cut the rate to try to stimulate the economy. The unemployment rate done went up. People ain't spending much money. Let's stimulate that by cutting the rate. Reversely, again, high GDP growth mean more money in the economy, mean we got to slow it down. When you have a high unemployment rate, this is economics 101. You got a high employment rate, plus you got either too much money in the economy or a shortage on goods. That's called stagflation. Yep. In the report, the lady just clearly said that the staggering numbers when it comes to job creation, on top of the tariffs and everything, which is going to slow supply chain down. Hell, some might just outright stop because they either can't afford to ship or it's just going to be too high. Hey, the writing is on the wall, folks. It's on the wall. Go ahead, Venkat.
Well, the lady in the piece, She mentioned about the 10% tariff across the board, and how they'll go ahead and have a situation where some products, ironically, will go down in price, and how they're some of the retailers are like, well, let's essentially eat the tariff because they don't want their products to lose weight in the American economy here. So they'll go ahead and eat it right now. But I'm thinking to myself, wait a minute, hold on. This is still in the days of the fake inflation, where we overinflated and put these fake prices out there. So the prices that were before the tariffs were even a thing, those prices were already compromised. They were higher than what they actually needed to be because of fake inflation. And now you got the tariff added on. And if they say they're going to, they'll just eat that cost of the 10%, that's not really meaning anything, if they're already working with an inflated number to begin with. But when the numbers go up, the tariff numbers go up to 30, 40, 50 or higher, they won't be able to handle that, and that's when it'll all buckle. So I just find it kind of weird how, they're trying to make it sound a little better, and as far as like, because I've seen that with a few different news reports, companies eating the tariff at the lower rate, but once it gets higher than that, that's it. That's their ass right there. These tariffs are horrible. Go ahead.
Yeah, no, I agree with what you're saying, but even with her saying that ain't believable either. Because remember, we had this conversation about tariffs before. No company is truly eating the tariff. If I'm a company and I'm shipping to the United States and I'm quote unquote eating the tariff, the competition is raising their price. Yeah. My goal to stay as profitable as I possibly can is to get that to even if it's a penny, Venkat.
Yeah,
is to get to the closest I can to still be the cheapest product. That's just a fact.
Well, you see that on Amazon a lot.
There you go. If somebody's shipping something over for $4.98, and that's including tariff, and I'm shipping we got the same tariff, me eating the tariff is essentially my product being $4.97. That's eating the tariff.
Yeah.
I'm just a penny less. So that's bullshit. Plus, the tariffs just hit today. Ain't no 10% flat nothing. Everything is a different percentage. I think Brazil coming in at 50%.
The places
coffee,
that he don't
coffee gonna go right. Coffee gonna go through the roof. I love Colombian organic. That's gonna go through the roof. All of these tariffs they don't mean anything in terms of promoting free trade. So let's not get it twisted. On top of what we just saw, there you go. On top of what we just saw with this jobs report, you're creating a cesspool that eventually is going to get to stagflation. Now, it might not be until 2020 because again, supply chain is a thing. It takes a while for this stuff to be implemented. That's just what we don't see. Not to mention, and I wanted to put this in too, Procter and Gamble. I can almost guarantee you everything in your house that's a houseware, a household item, from cleaning supplies to toothpaste, whatever it is, Procter and Gamble make it. They just announced that they raising their price. So that's all you need to know. That's all you need to know. From Clorox to Tide to Crest. Hey, if you getting that ground beef, it's a wrap. It's over with. It's over with. It's a done deal. And I get ground beef damn near every week. So if it come to that, it's a wrap, man. It's a wrap, bro.
Oh man.
We might as well all go vegan. It's a wrap. So, we gonna jump off from that. Stay with the topic. Let's see how this specifically impacts black people. Now I saw this. They, Ricardo and you, Venkat, y'all put me on to this. I said, oh shit, here we go. So let's look at this.
Remember when I told you that Trump is decreasing black employment without saying the word black? We have the numbers. Black unemployment dramatically increases under Donald Trump. Black unemployment under Trump reaches its highest rate since the pandemic. Let me tell you what this means. The latest jobs report released by the Department of Labor shows that black unemployment spiked to 7.2% in July, marking its highest rate since the COVID-19 pandemic nearly 4 years ago. The black unemployment rate has not seen its current level since October 2021, when it was 7.8%. The unemployment rate for black workers reached its lowest level in U.S. history during the Biden administration, 5%. Trump appeared enraged over Friday's overall job numbers, which included a downward turn in the number of added jobs last month, which was only 73,000 according to the Grio. He posted to Truth Social and announced the firing of the Bureau of Labor Statistics commissioner. As a result, he accused the Biden appointee of previously faking the jobs numbers to influence the 2024 election in favor of former Vice President Kamala Harris. All because the department released the same data based on the same metric that they have always used. But this time, he can't even lie his way out of the quantitative math. And in order to create smoke and mirrors to his inadequacy, he blames the commissioner and makes up a hell of a creative story that includes a conspiracy between Biden, Kamala Harris, and the labor commissioner. Quote, I was just informed that our country's job numbers are being produced by a Biden appointee. Yes, Dr. Erica McKentrifer, the Commissioner of Labor Statistics, who faked the jobs numbers before the election to try and boost Kamala's chances of victory. Sir, you've just admitted that this week you just found out who the person is who's the Labor Commissioner, Statistics. You didn't know that? You've been president for a minute. You just found this out. But she's the one who's incompetent. Okay, I got it. So in another post, he wrote, last week's jobs report was rigged. The report was rigged, ladies and gentlemen. Just like the numbers prior to the presidential election, they were rigged too. That's why in both cases, there was massive record-setting revisions. In favor of the radical left Democrats, those big adjustments were made to cover up and to level out the fake political numbers that were concocted in order to make a great Republican success look less stellar. I will pick an exceptional replacement. Thank you for your attention to this matter. MAGA. Are we even in a real place? Is Earth a real place? Definitely we're in a simulation. This man has blamed Democrats who are no longer in office for doing this. Instead of being one thing, thoughtful about you, he'd rather have propaganda, lies. He doesn't care if you have a job. He knows you don't. He doesn't care that you have to make ends meet. He doesn't. He's not concerned about spending millions and millions of taxpayer dollars on things like ballrooms and private jets. He doesn't care that he could be compromised by foreign governments in order to sell you out. Hell, he's basically advertising he's for sale. Trump says he's done more for Black Americans than anyone. These are just words. If pushing Black unemployment to its highest level since 2021 is his idea of progress, we hate to see what failure looks like to him, said Brandon Weathersby, spokesperson for American Bridge 21st Century. Weathersby told the Griot, quote, instead of delivering on his promises to the working class, Trump is handing out tax breaks to billionaires while Black unemployment climbs and good-paying jobs disappear. He added, quote, while Trump celebrates phony job numbers and lines the pockets of his ultra-rich donors, Black workers are paying the price. We told you this would happen. We said it right here on Indisputable. The jobs that he has decided to cut, it wasn't just a DEI policy. It was the fact that he was gutting federal workforces that employed Black folk. Remember, the federal government is the number one singular employer of Black people in the United States of America. The Department of Education being the chief of them, and it happens to be the only entity in the country where Black people are overrepresented based on population ratio. And that's what he gutted primarily. What do you think he's doing? And it has now equated to the eventual cause and effect. It's not complicated. It's just numbers. Former Department of Labor official under the Biden administration told the Griot that the, quote, chaotic nature of Trump's policies has, quote, made the economy less stable. The labor policy expert and researcher warned that the rise in Black unemployment could signal broader economic strains for the country. That is correct. That is correct. Why? Because when one loses, we all lose. That's why. But once again, you're back to basic math, cause and effect. Your needs paradigm has not changed. You still need the basic. You need food, you need water, you need shelter, and you need safety. And if you don't have those, there's a breakdown in what we understand as civilization, meaning folks start to act uncivil toward each other. I'm hungry. I don't care that it says no trespassing. I'm going to grab this food. I don't care that you say, I can't lay here. I can't go to sleep. I don't care. I need somewhere to stay. These things happen out of needs. And that need is artificially induced. It's created by policy. Black workers are often the last hired, the first fired. And so when you see Black unemployment rising, it's both concerning for Black workers, but it also tends to suggest something deeper is going on in the economy, she explained. During the Great Recession and the COVID-19 pandemic, for example, the data showed a rise in Black unemployment. Hanks warned, it's typically associated with some sort of crisis that's happening more broadly. More than 300,000 Black women have lost their jobs. 300,000 plus.
There it
man.
is.
Hey, that you know that, and that's troubling. And like Rashard Richie said, usually when you start seeing spikes in Black unemployment, That's usually a starting point for what's happening broadly. Why is that? Historically, it's because black people have had the lower level or the entry level type positions historically. So that would be an indication that the labor force is being laid off, signaling something is happening with these industries. That's historically that's how it's been. Now we seeing it in a different light. Everybody knows the DMV area. A whole hell of a lot of black folks live there. More than likely, they work in some capacity for the federal government in some type of bureaucratic format. Rashard Richey just told you the Department of Education was the highlight of that. Again, they in all departments because black folks live and work in the DMV, DC, Maryland, Northern Virginia area. They all work for the federal government, and you just laid them all off. You just laid them all off. Me and you talked about this when this was happening, Van Cat, in the first iteration of TFP. When all them mass layoffs happening, me and you said, point blank period, this is going to affect black people the most because we knew who ran those jobs. You know it's a stereotype of the fat black woman working in the DMV.
Yep.
Taking a sweet ass time. I mean, it's even depicted on sitcoms and movies and shit.
Yep.
Because most of the time, if you go to some type of federal facility, whether it be the DMV, the Social Security office, whatever the situation may be, there's going to be a black person there. And have made good careers out of it. There's some nice neighborhoods in the DMV area. Prince George's County, Maryland, is one of the highest grossing neighborhoods in all of America for black folk. So we know what's going on. If you didn't think this was going to affect black people, you a dumbass, bro. You a dumbass. I could have told you this even before it happened. That's just a fact.
Yep.
Now, one thing they talked about here, and I'm gonna let you go. The whole thing of him firing the labor statistic chief. And this is the most dangerous part. We see what this clown car called a cabinet look like. He's gonna put in some type of Trump flunky in that position.
100%.
That's gonna give fake numbers to Trump's liking. Now remember, the Federal Reserve go off of these numbers. So if you give a fake number and the Federal Reserve say, okay, these what the numbers are, we gonna either raise or lower rates artificially, Van Cat. It got the potential to destroy the American economy. Destroy it. All to appease Trump. That's a damnable offense. That's just a fact. So we're living in hell. What's up, Ricardo? What's going on, man?
I'm good. I'm just here driving and taking in all this information that we just heard about the black jobs. The what do we have to lose about the black jobs? And here we are. So
apparently everything, because they done lost.
So here we are for all those who were like hyping up this whole nonsense last year when he was doing his whole, brigade of lies.
What do you got to lose?
We had a lot to lose because here we are now facing this crisis, and it doesn't surprise me, MD, because by the way, happy birthday to you, sir. Welcome to what do you call it? Quadru. I don't even know the damn word.
That's what you call
it. Yeah, whatever you want to call it. We're both in the same league.
Quadragenarian.
Quadragenarian, yeah. So I'm literally there next week Tuesday. So don't feel no type of way. But it's crazy because I have family members that live in the DMV area, and it's crazy in one aspect to think about, but it doesn't surprise me because if you think about the DMV area, it predominantly has a lot of black people living in it. So when Doge, or whatever you want to call this moronic, stupid, foolish nonsense that Musk, which again I have my reservations about this whole thing. I think it's all a lie and a whole orchestrated thing from both parties to come up with a way to like say, oh, I'm gonna do something, and then I'm gonna be like, oh, I'm not gonna be his friend anymore. It's all orchestrated. It's too conveniently timed, but that's a whole other thing in itself. It's shocking to me that a lot of people voted for this and it's now going, well, he said that he was gonna be all for it. No, a leopard doesn't change its spots, period. It will never change its spots unless it becomes an albino. I just find this very sad in itself, but you're like, what was I saying last year, MD and Venkat? I don't want to hear nobody crying about nothing this year, because you know what? You all had an opportunity, not you guys, but the people that voted for this nonsense. You all had an opportunity to do the right thing, and you all decided to take a chance. Is how they call it, and here we are. So, hell in the handbasket. Let it rock and roll. We'll see how it goes from here.
Yeah, all I can remember is after the day after the election, the gloating, the trolling, the all this, because they were like on a high, and now just a mere 6 months into it, and it has gotten to a real dangerous place right now. And there are some diehards. There's a guy at my job. He's just a complete MAGA maniac. They're like a definitive MAGA maniac, and he ain't budging for nothing. He going down with the ship, man. Like, he ain't going. Everything is made up, fake news. Everything is, if it's a negative against Trump, he don't even look into it and find out the intricate details of it. He's just going all in on, well, that's not right, that's not real, that's not fake, that's fake news. But come on, dude. Like, oh my God. So yeah, but they were all in and all high. And the thing is like, it's a difference between winning an election and actually governing. And what we're seeing is just more the same, just worse from the first administration. And there's just a lot more to lose this time around. Um, it's the economy is too volatile, and the things that he's been doing, like, you're mad about the job numbers, but you
And
spent
firing people.
the first part of what you were doing with your administration was firing people, and you're like surprised that the job numbers are bad. And the thing is, it's not just the direct people he fired, but it's the industries and the other jobs affected around those jobs
Exactly.
that are being like, just, hey, my job, they cutting hours down. Managers that are
Same
guaranteed
thing with mine.
overtime are getting cut, and on top of that. So I mean, it's never ending. It's never ending, and one industry gets targeted, but it's like a connection with other industries, and it's just a domino effect that's happening. And he's not understanding that, and we're finding this out in real time. This guy is in his 80s, learning on the job. This is ridiculous, and this country is not an experiment.
Yeah, you're right, man. Like I said, Rashard Richie pointed out, man, like you didn't even know who the hell that was. You know what I'm saying? You saw something, you got mad about it, and you wanted to know who, who's in charge of this? What's the meaning of this? And you found out, and you fired the person. That's just what it was. And like I said, if he gets somebody in there that's gonna give him fake numbers, that's potentially catastrophic for the economy. Because again, you got financial placeholders that use this information. That's just a fact. And if you put somebody in there that's going to fake these numbers, and then everybody from the administrative side that does things based on these numbers, it's over with. Because it's going to be a lie. It's over with. That's just a fact. You talk about inflation. Let's say, damn, come next month or the next quarter, the job growth still ain't that good, and somebody inflate them numbers, what's going to happen? The Fed going to say, hey, the economy's doing great. Let's cut rates. Putting even more money into that's called hyperinflation.
Yes, and Germany.
These people are.
And remember what happened in
through.
Germany? Yep, Germany went through that, and it started the equivalent of what would be World War II. They can't be playing
Hitler
around
was
with
born
this.
because of it. You know what I'm saying?
It's crazy.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. I'm telling you, man, we living in some dangerous times, man. That's just a fact. To the point where you mad at numbers that come out under your watch, and you fired a person that did the statistical breakdown, even to a point. And now they talked about the revisions. Revisions happen every single time job report come out. That ain't no new thing. They always do revisions, either in the positive or the negative. You mad at the revisions because it said, hey, look, we didn't get as many jobs as we thought the last quarter. It's bad. It's pretty fucked up. And you get mad. Hey, man, I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what to tell you, man. It's getting bad, bro. It's getting bad. All right, let's go to the next thing. Like I said, we got a lot of stuff. I don't know if we gonna get through it all. I put this one up specifically for Vancat, so me and Vancat can fight a little bit. Zoran Mamdani. We talked about him several times on this show. Let's take a look at Mamdani's economic plan point by point. We're gonna break it all the way down, Vancat. And we're gonna see what you agree with, what I agree with, and see if we can find some type of commonality. I want to, I want to support it. I want to support it. But like I said, New York is a, it's a tricky situation. It ain't like I'm fighting against nobody in New York. It's a democratic city. So let's go point by point. Let's look at the tail of the tape and see what's going on with what. We also going to look at old PBD's reaction, Patrick Bet David. And I agree with what he said. So let's take a look at what's going on.
Today on Forbes, will Mamdani's proposed millionaire tax save or sink New York City? What would be the real result of a new millionaire tax in New York City? Billionaire Bill Ackman, founder and CEO of Pershing Square Capital Management, and a Trump and Cuomo backer, suggests the answer is that wealthy taxpayers will flee. In a post on X, Ackman lamented Zoran Mamdani's Democratic primary win in the New York City mayoral race by stating, quote, New York City under Mamdani is about to become much more dangerous and economically unviable. Ackman's post, which has garnered more than 4 million views, was a direct response to Mamdani's surprise Democratic primary win in the Big Apple. The 33-year-old Democrat garnered 44% of the vote, running on a progressive agenda focused on making life in New York City more affordable. Funding that agenda will take money, and Mamdani has a plan to raise revenues without tapping the middle class. In addition to bumping up the corporate tax, Mamdani has proposed a 2% tax on what his campaign calls, quote, the wealthiest 1% of New Yorkers, those earning above $1 million annually. His platform estimates this so-called millionaire tax will raise $4 billion annually to help fund projects like universal free early childcare, free bus rides, and more affordable housing. The numbers, Mamdani says, mean that the tax would impact about 34,000 households. On his website, he says, quote, this tiny share of the city population takes home 35% of all income earned by New York City residents. That same 1%, he explains, also benefited from a tax cut under President Trump's 2017 Tax Cuts and Jobs Act, which cut the top marginal rate from 39.6% to 37%. The proposed surtax, the 2% extra tax rate would only apply to earnings over $1 million, would, Mamdani suggests, make New York's tax more progressive. The federal income tax system, he points out, is progressive. With a progressive tax, rates go up as income increases, but everyone pays the same rate for the same income. That means that you pay the same 10% as every other person until you hit the top of the bracket. Then you pay 15% on that income until you hit the top of that bracket, and so on. New York State has a similar system. However, Mamdani claims that the New York City income tax is essentially a flat tax of 3.9%. He explains on his website, quote, "Whether you make $50,000 or $5 million, you pay practically the same tax rate." That's true, sort of. New York City's tax rates start at 3.078% and only climb to 3.876%, a small uptick. In addition, the brackets are somewhat compressed, climbing quickly at lower rates and then leveling off once taxable income exceeds $50,000. But that still doesn't technically qualify as a pure flat tax. Under Mamdani's plan, the tax would be tacked on at the top, taking an additional 2% of incomes over $1 million, making the tax more progressive. Mamdani says the plan will work, pointing to millionaire taxes in states like Massachusetts. In November 2022, Massachusetts voters approved the Fair Share Amendment, a 4% surtax on personal income exceeding $1 million. The tax raised $1.8 billion in its first 3 quarters of collections, with revenues funding school lunches, transportation, and education. Some feared that the tax might cause ultra-wealthy residents to flee. While Massachusetts residents did leave the state in 2021, the year the bill passed, most were upper-middle-class taxpayers, not millionaires. That's consistent with historical data. Massachusetts has been losing individuals across all income levels since 2009, with more concentrated losses among middle and high-income earners. One reason may be housing costs. As those shot up, lower-cost housing in other states, combined with remote work opportunities, may have wooed middle-class residents away from the Bay State. As for those millionaires, an analysis of data from the IRS's Statistics of Income program revealed that the number of tax returns that reported an adjusted gross income of $1 million or more in Massachusetts grew by 36% between 2018 and 2022. Tax stats from the IRS for 2023 were not available at the time of the report. Wealth data from WealthX also indicated that the number of millionaires in Massachusetts rose by 38.6% between 2022 and 2024, while their collective wealth increased from $1.6 trillion to $2.2 trillion. For full coverage, check out Kelly Phillips Erb's piece.
And you know how I know that it's working? Is it used to be enough that the President of the United States would say that he's a socialist. But now he calls me a communist. Because the socialism just isn't hitting the way it used to.
There's a part of me
That's
that
right.
wants to see this guy win, to prove what happens in the book Fountainhead or Atlas Shrugged, that those people that create the jobs will leave, and they're going to go take their money to a different city and economy, and then your tax revenue drops. And if your tax revenue drops, you want to add free bus services or free daycare that's going to cost you $3 billion a year. What are you going to do if your tax revenue drops? If your tax revenue drops, where does that additional money come from? We sometimes need a case study for other people to be aware that can happen to your city very soon. So as much as I don't want to see it happen, I'm a Yankees guy. We own a minority ownership in Yankees. There's a part of me that wants to see this happen for the market to see what doesn't work.
All right. So that's the exact argument that I made to you weeks prior to when this whole Mamdani mania started.
It's not an argument. I think it's fear-mongering. It's all the chest thumping, the usual nonsense that you hear from these jackasses. First of all, you can't try to scare me that the makers of the jobs are gonna leave. Bitch, the damn job's been gone. People can't find work as is. The rate of housing is astronomical. The funny thing is everything gets tarred and feathered, up in flames for the middle class to the lower bottom half of the economy. And that burning continues on all the way. The moment the ultra rich, the people at the top, have to face some extra burden as far as taxes, that is the death warrant right there. They will still be fine. Friggin' Elon Musk lost billions of dollars in the last year, and he's still the richest man in the world. Save those tattooed tears for somebody that cares.
Elon Musk also left California because of the tax and went to
That's
Austin.
fine. And toodaloo to his bitch ass. I don't care. He doesn't make or break people, right? Like, who the frig is walking around saying, "Oh my God, the rich guy has left"?
The people that worked at Tesla, they said it. Hold on, Van Cat. No, I can't.
No,
I can't get jiggy with you, man. I can't get jiggy with you, bro.
No. The fear mongering with this whole the rich man going to leave because he has to deal with a very first of all, the tax is not making or breaking his money. It's the ego and the idea that I'm gonna have to pay extra to help other people. But on the flip side, other people in society have been in dire situations. People can't afford a $400 emergency. People can't afford to rent or buy property. You can't buy a goddamn car, let alone groceries. We're under those conditions right now. People in rent have been going up in a calendar year, $800 to $1,000 or more. These things are actively happening right now to a wider, bigger amount of people. And there's nothing being done. And it's like, that's when it's okay. So the millionaires and the billionaires are sticking around for when that environment is there. But the moment, oh God, I got to pay 2% more or 10% more in taxes or whatnot. Now they come up with this whole thing about the job creators are going to leave. This bitch ass niggas wasn't creating no jobs. That's why the friggin' situation is bad. You can't sell me on I need this dumbass to be in my atmosphere when my atmosphere is frigged up when you're here. Get the hell out. I don't give a damn. Like, matter of fact, leave the country. That will be even better. The thing is that we need to stop being afraid that Elon Musk or this jackass that have money is going to leave. Dave Chappelle did the same thing, talking about he going to leave Ohio if they bring in affordable housing in his area. I'm not going to have my businesses there. Then leave your bitch ass. Nobody cares. The people of the community need to do what needs to be done to save their community. You don't need to be looking for Superman. Captain Save-A-Hole is out of the building. There's no reason for this. I am not falling for the okie doke here. It's the dumbest argument. You have people dealing with hardships that are real and widespread. Homelessness is ridiculous in state to state. And you're telling me a bitch ass millionaire is threatening, oh, I'm going to pack up my things if I have to pay 10% more in taxes. Whatever, man. That stuff ain't real to me. Go. Nobody cares. Nobody wanted you there. Matter of fact, I feel like you are the reason the things are messed up. That's what I got to say.
We got to think logically here. I
no,
understand
that's logical. That's as logical as you can get.
So logic is not the job creators, the millionaires, the billionaires, the industry innovators that's in your vicinity.
No. I have more belief in Red Riding Hood. Red Riding Hood do more for people than these quote unquote job creators. That is a myth. That is a narrative. We don't need those kind of people in there. They ain't doing nothing for the community. So frig them. That's kind of that's really cowardly.
Come from, Van Cat?
Huh?
Where your tax revenue come from?
It comes from multitude of areas. They always raise taxes on everything from tolls, schools, in your rent and your mortgage. There's multiple ways to generate tax revenue. Some fact that some guy that has all the goddamn money hoarding it up is if he leaves, then we're not going to get no revenue. That's just a lie. That's a concentrated lie. We don't need that jackass in society. We don't need those people. We don't need them, especially.
Van Cat, you're okay with higher taxes? Yes, it's a yes or no question.
Well, it depends on the situation. I'll pay for higher tax. You telling me if I pay higher taxes, I'm supposed to get something out of it, right? I'm supposed to get things in the community, paved roads. I'm supposed to get police. I'm supposed to get healthcare. I'm supposed to get all these things. Those things are supposed to happen. Currently,
well, that would be socialism.
What?
And that's fine. I say that would be socialism. That's fine.
How is that
I'm
socialism?
just trying to get socialism. Literally, it literally is paying into something to get a service.
Okay,
that's what socialism is.
So
I'm not saying it's right or wrong, Cat.
No, but we've been paying taxes all this time on things, and those taxes are utilized to do things, pave roads, school building, so on and so forth. That's the whole idea. You're not paying taxes for the sake of paying taxes, or for the idea
taxes is derived from a socialist ideology. I don't disagree with that.
I mean, well, we make it sound like it's this bad thing. We really buying into this idea that it's weaker or that it's not good. The reason it fails is because the people that are executing it are purposely failing it. We need the right people in government to make the right decisions on what to do with that money. You know, that's why they're digging into your Social Security and whatnot, and then you don't see no result from it. I just need to see results. I shouldn't have to go to a hospital and I'm on my deathbed and they're telling me to sign something. Like my stuff should be handled, man. My stuff should be handled. I should have the peace of mind that I've been paying taxes all this time, and there should be services to go along with that. I don't think that's a unrealistic expectation. I just think in this country,
if you're paying taxes, you're right.
Paying taxes should account for something. There should be a progress out of that. It shouldn't be something I'm just doing and I'm just like, okay, I'm being buried under everything. And the narrative of all these things in society have been so corrupted and so misguided. And we fail to understand that people are vying for positions in government to undermine how government runs efficiently or not efficiently. You know what I'm saying? So, but this whole myth that some cracker, usually a cracker, some cracker in a suit making way more money than he really deserves is somehow my God and Savior is some bullcrap. Get the frig out of the country. That's what they essentially are saying. That's what Michael
bro.
That's what Patrick Bet-David is saying. That's what a lot of them are saying. That the job creators are gonna leave. Oh, get the hell out of here, man. I don't need that monkey in a suit. I need real changes, and it's very attainable. This stuff is done on purpose, by design. There's things that we could solve tomorrow, but there are gridlock and things that are stopping the progress. And I recognize that thoroughly. But I know one thing, ain't no jackass in a business suit is changing anything. They ain't doing nothing. They never did anything. All they did was consume, use, and abuse. They got us as friggin' chimps out here just supporting their lifestyle. I'm not trying to be a worker bee for them. Like, there's a whole bunch of stuff I could go off, but go ahead, MD. Go ahead.
No, hey, I just wanted to get your take. I think you're wrong.
I'm not wrong.
I think you're way off track, but you know,
I'm not
I'm gonna let you rock.
No, but okay. So tell me where I'm wrong at, MD. That we really need these gorillas in a suit to help our society when they're not. How much stuff can a guy that's rich buy? How many cars they're gonna buy? How many suits they're gonna buy? How is that generating or helping the economy?
You doing a lot of anecdotal stuff.
No, I'm not.
That ain't doing much for me. If we look at the basic, and I'm gonna let you go, Ricardo. Like I said, I wanted to spar with Vancat real quick.
Yeah, go ahead.
If we're talking about basic math, bro, I ain't trying to get into nothing superficial, none of that. I don't give a damn about none of that. I'm the political profit of the month man. I'm talking about basic mathematics. In the video, the man said that this elite class that you despise is over 30% of the income in New York City. Basic math.
Yeah.
If they let's just say they all leave, all of them, every millionaire and billionaire leave New York, say the hell with this, I'm not doing it. I'm going to Florida. Because that's more than likely that's where they would go.
Right.
We talking about being able to supplement over 30% of the city's revenue. Oh, that's a lot, hell of a whole lot of money. We talking about in the billions of dollars back at. Would you agree?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That would mean that all the communists and socialists in New York City is going to have a substantial increase in their bill, right?
Mm-hmm.
On top of being able to ride the bus for free and take your little nappy-headed child to free health care. Free child care and all these wonderful things that Mom Donnie wants. So add on top of that 30% supplemental revenue. You got to add it.
Mm-hmm.
I guess at that point, you basically working to get on the bus free and take your little child to childcare, and that's what you work for. It's a negative and positive to everything that you say, Van Camp. Like I said, I don't want to deal in hyperbole when it comes to what we believe ideologically. Damn all that. I just simple math is all I want to deal with. You say you don't need these people. No, hold on, wait a minute. You rocked out for a minute, Van Camp. You say you don't need these people. You may not need these people from the aspect of social advancement or what they call upward mobility or whatever you may think of these people, leeches, whatever you want to call them. At the end of the day, your ass is still gonna get up, get on that free bus. I guess you still got to pay to get on the train. Still, you're gonna get your ass up, get on that bus, and take your ass to work. And on Friday, when you get your check, you're gonna look at how many tax. And let me say this one thing: I don't know how New York City works.
Mm-hmm.
How is Mom Donnie coming up with any type of strategy when it comes to tax? I ain't never heard of those city tax in my life. I don't know, like what New York City, a big place.
What kind of taxes? You kind of like glitched out a little bit. What?
City tax.
Yeah.
I don't know what the hell that is. Maybe that's a New York thing. I don't know.
Wait a minute. Hold on. We have city. So in West Palm Beach,
I'm talking about income.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, of course you got stuff like trash and stuff like that. I'm talking about income. Yeah. That's the only thing. What other kind of tax is going to be that's going to hit these people? I don't know.
So
on top of the fact, I'm pretty sure, I could be wrong.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I'm pretty sure all this stuff got to be passed through either a city commission. Hell, it might have to be passed through the state. I don't know. So, but go ahead, then I'm gonna let Ricardo go.
So I just want to say this real quick because there's an origin for everything that has to be paid and what needs to be paid. Is there a way to look at all aspects of that local government as far as negotiating the taxes that they pay, maybe lowering some places, increasing others? It's like, because there's got to be a reason for
you're being a hypocrite, Van Cat. You're being a hypocrite.
No,
so basically, what you want to do, you want to doze New York City. Is that what you want to do?
No, that's not what I'm saying at all. I'm just saying, like, well, obviously we don't have the capabilities to see those books as far as like what it is that they're really paying for. Remember, we've had crooked politicians and people in government in all across America, all across all these different cities. And there are things on the books that are just there. And I'm just saying that there could be a negotiation. If you're losing that 30% of those rich people, well, now can't you reallocate like where the tax revenue is coming from, how much of it, upping it here, giving an advantage there. So I don't mind losing in one aspect, but gaining in another, because that could still be good for me. I'm just saying that, oh God, I'm just laughing about it, but I'm just,
that sound like Doge to me.
nah, man, that's not no damn Doge. That's not no Doge. I know what you're trying to say, but I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that I refuse to believe that the condition that New York City is in, it just stops at, well, 30% of rich people left. That's the only, whatever is set up has to stay the same way, and we just need to find something to replace it. That makes no sense to me. I think that if you look into what goes on in New York, and that's not something I would be able to see, that's not something you'll be able to see, but there's something wrong with the way New York. It was very expensive before this year. It was very expensive 10 years ago, 20 years ago. There's something set up in New York that could be looked at, and some changes. There's no reason for their rent to be that high. So somebody is getting money somewhere. So if my landlord is raising the rent, he's going to say, well, the government is taxing me the X amount, so I got to raise it to be able to account for that. And then you go to the government, they tax it, and you're like, well, why are you taxing it that much? Why don't we go pull back those weeds and figure out where we can bring it to a place that makes it more affordable, manageable, and productive? Because it doesn't make sense to have everything high. And it's not just the millionaires and billionaires leaving, it's the regular folks as well. And that at a certain point, we're worried about the 30% that the rich people make up. But what about all the regular middle class and lower class people, poor people that move out of New York? We don't account for that. And that goes back to what I was saying, frig them all. Because everything that is tied to the rich and ultra wealthy, whatever is negative towards them, that has higher relevancy and importance. But the overwhelming majority of people that are middle class to poor, when it affects them, it's like just breezed over and looked over as nothing. That's still real dollars that you're losing every time people move, and a lot of people do move out of New York. But I don't see the same sense of urgency to stop and maintain that. So that's why I say frig them, because it's all a fairy tale. And I think they need to focus and actually do work. It feels like to me, politicians and people in government are lazy as hell to get into the weeds of what's breaking down. What is the missing link here? Because there's really no reason that the rent in New York, these little small areas, small little shanties, costing thousands upon thousands of dollars. So that's a problem there. So we need to figure that out first. And that's not Doge, because Doge was not efficient.
It's called supply and demand, man. It's called supply and demand.
That's a fantasy too. That's a freaking fantasy too.
It's not no fallacy, bro.
It
millions.
is.
You got millions of people that live in New York City.
Yeah.
With only a limited amount of housing. Now I would argue that y'all should do something about the housing issue, and that will naturally lower prices. But where you gonna put? It's New York City. Where you gonna put it at? You know what I'm saying? But hey, Ricardo, you got anything on this? Ricardo done went.
No, I'm still here. No, I don't really. I mean, on one hand, I just, again, for the folks that are tuning in, New York is the largest city in the entire continental U.S. So, as a metropolitan city that has close to almost, I want to say close to 20 million people inside of it, if you include all the boroughs and whatnot. I don't know. I get Venkat's point where you're saying like that the billionaires leave because sometimes they do this whole, and remember, Venkat, it's all a ruse really, because they go, oh well, we're gonna leave. When have we not heard this? This has been in place since the industrial revolution, where they will say something like, oh, if we don't get this and so we're gonna leave. So, okay, then if you leave, somebody else is going to fill the void that you're leaving behind. So it really doesn't make a difference. Like for instance, an airline might, merge or file for bankruptcy tomorrow. Does it stop another airline from coming in and filling the void? No, because people still will have to travel. People still have to move about.
That's different though, Ricardo. That's a
How's
whole different.
that different, MD?
I know
because you're talking about another airline merging into another airline. That ain't what Van Cat talking about. Van Cat saying get rid of all the airlines.
He's saying that an airline leaving.
That's what I just heard. What he said. That's the example of what he gave. He talking about another airline. That's not the equivalent of what you just said, Van Cat. Van Cat saying that, get rid of all the airlines, and we need to do like the movie Chicken Run and get some cardboard and we all get together and start flapping. That's what Van Cat talking about.
So you're saying that if millionaires leave New York and other millionaires don't come in, like what if New York sets up something that's enticing for millionaires to come into the city? I mean,
if it's enticing for millionaires to come into the city, it ain't gonna benefit your black ass, no, Van Cat. That's what I'm talking about. You want to replace. You say, oh, get rid of them. Then they gonna come up with an incentive program. What you think that incentive program gonna consist of? Tax cuts. So you just did all of this for nothing.
No. I'm just saying they got to be tough.
You can't get around. You cannot get around the economic machine, Vac. You can't do it.
Yes, again.
Go ahead, Ricardo. Go ahead.
No, but I mean, give or take, I also get MD's point because it's like, but how do you do all of these things without, you can't do it. Socialism only brings you up to a point, right? At some point in time, you have to acknowledge, well, you have to pay for something, but how do you pay for that? It's always a cause and effect to everything that you do. So, I get both sides of the argument, but at the same length and breath, I will have to side with MD on this one. I'm sorry, Van Cat. Like I just for me it and usually I don't, because I always like go for the I grew up in a country that has partial social partial commerce, partial capitalism. So the Great North that's fighting with Taco, Master here, who thinks he knows everything, and they're not gonna back down, by the way, Master Taco. So continue doing your nonsense, because you and your ambassador knows nothing about anything that when it comes to governing countries. But that's a whole other thing. But I get the point that you're trying to make, Van Cap, but I got to side with MD on this one. I'm sorry. I just like, for me, it doesn't. I can't equate. Like, I get your point, but where do you draw the line where you say, all right, well, socialism brings you up to a certain point where, yeah, we're giving out free candies to everybody, but how do you get the candies in the first place? Like, what constitute you saying, well, I'm going to shut down everything, and then there's a void there somewhere, but who comes in, like, who's paying for these things? It's like, you have to always put that in the front of your brain.
So why is it when something benefits the workers, the average folks, it's who pays for it? But when we're dealing with rich people and their tax cut, we're never talking about how that's getting paid for. That never comes up.
Because the rich people is the one that's by default that's paying for it. By default.
They're not paying for nothing. Trump's tax cut, they're not paying for nothing. Kanye West saying he got $5 million.
Again, I understand what you're saying, Van Cat. I'm not disputing equity when it comes to the system in and of itself of taxes and income. I'm not disputing that. What I'm telling you is, in a place like New York City, it ain't like we're talking about Miami or Atlanta or anywhere that has a broad metropolitan atmosphere that don't have to worry about shit like this. New York City, you can't even walk without bumping into somebody. That's what I'm telling you. These people need somewhere to work. That's a fact. Now, a lot of these people don't even live in New York. Well, a lot of these people live in the Connecticut area.
Mm-hmm.
You got some in Jersey. So the vastness of what we're talking about in-state people that reside in New York City. These people is a big chunk of New York City's revenue. You can't get around that. You just can't do it, no matter how hard you try. Now, in order for you to supplement that lost revenue, Venkat, you got to raise taxes on everybody else. If you're okay with that, fine. It is what it is. I wouldn't be okay with it.
First, I got to find out how much of an increase it would be. Then I got to find out what those. No, I got to find out how much the increase is going to be, and then I got to find out what are the benefits with having that higher tax. Like, what am I getting out of paying more? That I just don't think they don't dig deep. They don't. Nah, I don't care if the ride the bus for free thing. I don't give a goddamn about that crap. My God, I don't care about that. Like every time we talk about working class folks getting stuff, it's that indeed that they're getting stuff. That it's a free thing. That it's undeserved benefit. And again, it's unlimited for corporate welfare and ultra uber rich people when they just get things. It's always a shameful thing when you don't make a certain amount of money. It's always a shameful thing. And that stigma needs to go away because it's just absolutely ridiculous. There are companies that are paying zero taxes every year for decades. I'm just saying, whenever people are dealt with this stuff, they got to be embarrassed. Whenever rich people do this stuff, it's just great business. If I'm not Donald Trump and I got 6 bankruptcies, I should be embarrassed. When Donald Trump does 6 bankruptcies, it's a strategic business move. I'm done with this crap, man. I ain't with this the whole idea in this country about wealth, income, and inequality. All these issues, these problems could be solved. They just refuse to get into the weeds of it. And there's people that are invested in things staying the status quo. We also got to deal with that as well. It could be done. We just need people that want to do the work to fix it. Why the frig New York has to be this high-ass interest? It's somebody sometime a long time ago made something and put some bill in effect, and we are where we are. I'm just saying, go back in there, look at what the frig is going on, and actually address the issue. But we're not addressing issues. These problems are not as difficult as what it is. We're making it difficult as a bargaining chip to keep status quo, meaning keep it where the rich guy seems to be valued. Because it seemed like if this little gridlock wasn't there, then a lot of people would be saying like what I'm saying, get frig them, who cares? I don't really, and to be honest, if you're a rich person in this freaking country benefiting from the backbone work of other people, and you're running from a state or the country because of a tax that you benefited from in this country, that's some coward stuff. Like the tax, they were being taxed decades ago in the 50s. They were being taxed close to 90%. And they were still rich and they were still able to afford things. But the overall economy and the overall society was way better for it. We've moved away from that and look where we're at now. Hoes, prostitutes, drug dealers, and bums. That's where we are right now. That's where we are right now.
Venkat said it. It's either you're a hoe, a prostitute, a drug dealer, or a bum.
All of the above.
All of the above. Yeah. You could be a one-stop shop. So man,
look at Sacramento. I'm sorry. Look at San Francisco. Look at Philadelphia. Look at Missouri, West Virginia. See those images of the homeless people out there. That's gotta stop. That's like wasted lives. We could be doing so much more. But you guys keep going on with your praising of the rich people. I ain't with that crap.
Hey, it is what it is, man. Hey, passionate conversation. I mean, it is what it is. But when it comes to situations like this, I got to step in. It is what it is. I got to step in.
There it is.
One penny at a time. One penny at a time.
One penny at a time.
So, you know.
Oh God.
All right, so we got one more story to get to before we get to the duck. This was a special request. This for you, Black Son. Again, like I said, I'm not dealing with you.
Wow.
Stop calling. He did a video today while I was arguing back and forth with him.
Wow.
Black Son, man, listen, man. Get it together, bro. Get it together, man. I don't know what you got. He asked me, did I care about my life and all of that, and we was all gonna die.
Well, you gotta hug. You gotta hug and kiss your loved ones.
You gotta hug and kiss your loved one. The same old spiel. But again, we dealing with economics. We're gonna talk about what Russia's doing right now, not necessarily of the war effort, but how much it costs. Black Son don't want to talk about that. He don't want to talk about that at all because he knows what the solution is in regards to ending this all right now. But he want to keep, because it's content for him. It's content. He a Russian asset. He need to go over there with the Huffmans. Maybe they'll let him sleep on the mattress with them. Go over there with the Huffmans and go to the front line. You might as well. Other than that, I ain't dealing with you no more. Let's look at Russia, its economy, and how it's affecting what's going on in Ukraine right now. I gotta share my screen.
Built his image on strength, just went on national television and admitted it. Russia is in crisis. Not a minor slump, not a temporary setback, but a spiraling disaster that's now engulfing every corner of the Russian economy. For over 2 decades, Vladimir Putin projected power, control, and invincibility. But the truth has slipped through the cracks. The illusion of resilience has shattered, revealing a nation gripped by inflation, drained by war, and haunted by the looming collapse of its banking system. The Kremlin's propaganda machine may still be spinning tales of growth and recovery, but inside the country, ordinary Russians are watching their rubles lose value, their businesses close doors, and their savings vanish. Today's episode uncovers the brutal truth. Russia's economy isn't just in decline, it's unraveling from within. And this collapse is more dangerous than ever imagined. Despite headlines boasting 4.1% economic growth in 2024, the core of Russia's financial system is rotting. That growth figure is a smokescreen, an illusion constructed entirely on war spending. Nearly every ruble fueling this so-called recovery has come from the defense sector: tanks, ammunition, conscription bonuses. In fact, military expenditures jumped by a staggering 75% in just 1 year. Nearly 2/5 of the federal budget is now funneled into the military-industrial complex. This is not sustainable development. It's economic cannibalism. While Moscow boasts about GDP figures, the reality on the ground is starkly different. Retail sales are falling, construction projects are halting due to unaffordable mortgage rates. Manufacturing runs at half capacity. Russia isn't building a future, it's mortgaging its present to fight a war that's bleeding its economy dry. And ordinary Russians are paying the price. Inflation is gutting the purchasing power of everyday citizens. Essentials like food have seen double-digit price hikes. The cost of bread has jumped from 50 to 70 rubles. For families earning an average of 71,000 rubles, or around $900 a month, this means choosing between food and heating, between medicine and survival. This isn't a cost of living crisis, it's an existential one. To make matters worse, the government's response has only tightened the noose. Interest rates have soared above 20%, among the highest in the world. Starting a business, buying a home, expanding a company, all nearly impossible. Credit is suffocatingly expensive. Small businesses can't afford to survive, let alone grow. The housing market is frozen. Construction companies are laying off workers in droves, and for pensioners who endured the Soviet collapse, there's cruel déjà vu. Fixed incomes now eroded month by month, losing nearly 1% of their value annually and accelerating. But the collapse doesn't stop with inflation or interest rates. A more terrifying threat is emerging beneath the surface: a nationwide labor crisis. Russia is short nearly 2.5 million workers. Entire industries are grinding to a halt, starved of manpower. Why? Hundreds of thousands of men have been drafted into the war, many never to return. But perhaps more critically, Over 700,000 people fled the country in 2022 alone. And these weren't just any workers. They were the country's future: engineers, teachers, doctors, IT specialists. The people who could have modernized Russia have left, seeking freedom and opportunity in countries like Armenia, Georgia, and Estonia. The tech sector alone has lost over 100,000 professionals, shrinking by 20%. The labor shortage is driving wages up, which in turn fuels more inflation. It's a vicious cycle. Employers can't afford to hire, so they raise prices or shut down. Construction now runs below half capacity. Hospitals lack staff. Schools can't find qualified teachers. Russia isn't just bleeding talent, it's hemorrhaging its future. And now comes the most dangerous domino, the banking sector. Quietly, Russian officials are sounding the alarm. A systemic banking collapse could strike within the next 12 months. This isn't speculation. It's coming from within the very institutions meant to uphold economic stability. Imagine the 2008 global financial crash, but inside a nation already cut off from global capital, already under heavy sanctions, and already locked in a devastating war. The warning signs are glaring. 12 of Russia's 70 largest companies can no longer service their debts. That's nearly 1 in 6 on the verge of default. Credit card defaults have surged by 65% in just 4 months. 11% of all credit cards in Russia are now in default. And what does the government do? They don't reform. They restrict. Daily withdrawal limits are capped at $500. Russians must wait 48 hours to access their own savings. These aren't fraud controls. They're panic measures designed to stop a bank run before it begins. Banks have been forced to lend over $200 billion to military contractors, many of whom will never repay it. This isn't a functioning economy. It's a pyramid scheme waiting for its final collapse. At the root of it all is a single point of failure: fossil fuels. Russia's entire post-Soviet economy has rested on the foundation of oil and gas exports. When prices were high, this looked like strength. But now that foundation is crumbling. Oil still accounts for nearly 38% of GDP and over a third of the federal budget. But Russia's flagship crude, Urals oil, has dropped to around $54 a barrel, well below the $67 needed just to balance the books. As a result, profits are imploding. Rosneft's net profits have plunged 59% in just the first quarter of 2025. Oil production is now at 9-year lows. Sanctions are biting deep. Europe has slashed its reliance on Russian gas from 44% to just 14%. Countries that once depended on Russian energy are building LNG terminals, embracing renewables, and moving on. Russia now sells to China and India, but at deep discounts. These nations drive hard bargains, knowing Moscow is desperate. Russian oil is selling for $18 below market prices just to find buyers. And as the world accelerates its shift to clean energy, Russia's prized asset, oil, is rapidly becoming obsolete. There's an even darker irony here. The war that's destroying Russia's economy is the very thing propping parts of it up. Military production now sustains 1.2 million jobs. That's 1 in every 10 workers. Entire towns like Tula have transformed into weapons factories. International arms sales to countries like Iran and North Korea brought in $14 billion last year, one of the few areas still showing growth. But this is not real growth. This is a temporary drug keeping the patient alive while worsening the illness. Nearly 39% of federal spending is now poured into defense and internal security. That means less money for schools, less for hospitals, less for roads, research, and recovery. The Russian government is offering signing bonuses of 2.8 million rubles, around $35,000, to lure new recruits. For a struggling family, that's more than years of honest labor. But these incentives only deepen the cycle. The military economy is not only unsustainable, it's terminal. Like using wood from your house to stay warm, it works until there's nothing left to burn. The human cost of this collapse is staggering. Over 21 million Russians, 1 in 7, now live below the poverty line. In towns where factories have closed, families scrape together whatever income they can. Meat and vegetables have become luxuries. People resort to processed foods just to stay full. Parents skip meals so their children can eat. Elderly Russians are forced to choose between food and medicine. Rural clinics have shut down. Urban hospitals are overcrowded and underfunded, with patients waiting months for treatment. Education is in crisis. Teacher salaries hover around $480 a month. The profession is hollowing out as qualified educators flee abroad or into the private sector. Over 12% of teaching positions are now vacant. This isn't just a short-term economic downturn, it's the unraveling of a nation's future. And this collapse doesn't stop at Russia's borders. As a major supplier of wheat, metals, and energy, Russia's breakdown is causing ripple effects across the globe. Wheat production has fallen by 8%. This impacts food prices across Africa and the Middle East, pushing millions toward hunger and political unrest. Russia is also a key producer of nickel, aluminum, and palladium, crucial materials for everything from smartphones to electric vehicles. With production down and exports shrinking, global manufacturers face rising costs. Supply chains from Japan to Mexico are feeling the squeeze. Even with Europe reducing its reliance on Russian energy, volatility remains. A single disruption in what remains of Russia's export capacity can send prices spiking from Asia to South America. When Russia trembles, the world shakes. All signs point to a looming tipping point. Oil revenues are down 37%, tax collections are falling, the National Welfare Fund, the last financial safety net, is on track to run dry by early 2026. At that moment, Russia faces a brutal choice. Cut military spending and lose the war, or keep spending and trigger total economic collapse. Each option is disastrous, and the political consequences could be explosive. Russia remains a nuclear-armed nation with 145 million people. Economic desperation combined with authoritarian rule creates an unpredictable and dangerous mix. This isn't just a Russian problem, it's a global threat. And as the house of cards finally begins to collapse, the world must prepare for the shockwave to come. A president who built his image on strength.
Oh boy.
All right, so there you have it, folks. So the video just proved beyond a shadow of a doubt what's going on in Russia right now. Believe what you want to believe when it comes to them taking land in Ukraine, so on and so forth. They ain't got much longer. They either gonna take it now or die in economic collapse. Either one. The video just showed you. They touting growth numbers, but all that growth is based on the military sector.
Right.
Everybody either in the war or making weapons. That's how a war economy worked. During World War II in America, remember, all the women went to work in the factory.
Yes, they sure did.
Making planes and ships and shit. That is called a war economy. You can only do that for so long. Real quick, guess. We're gonna play a guessing game. Guess the number. What's the totality of inflation right now in Russia? In total, just guess. Give me a number.
I'm gonna go with 12%.
Take a guess, Ricardo.
I'll go high. 20%.
It's 30.
Wait a minute. Hold on, man.
Sounds about right.
Wait a minute.
30,
hold the hell on.
30%.
That's worse than Zimbabwe's inflation. That's crazy to me.
Year over year, since the war started, year over year, it's ticked up anywhere between 9 and 10%.
Oh man.
Three years we've been dealing with Russia and Ukraine.
So
if
let me
ticked
get
up
this straight.
10%, we're talking about 30%. Go ahead.
So things were really bad when Biden was in there. Biden had it down to 2.8, 2.7, 2.8, something like that. And
which is a relative number. That's where you want it to be. Because you're gonna have to have it. Now let's take again. I think we talked about this before. Inflation in
it can't
logical term. It can't. It's impossible for
it's
it to
ridiculous.
be zero.
It's ridiculous.
If your inflation is zero, that means that your economy is at a standstill.
Right.
Nothing's going on. It's impossible.
There should be a little bit of it in there.
Right. Now the Federal Reserve say 2% is where you want it to be.
Right.
Because that shows GDP growth versus supply and demand of the products that you got. It is what it is. I don't think it's supposed to be 30%.
No. I'm gonna go out on a limb
I
on
saw
that
a
one.
video. Right. I saw a video. They was at some type of market in Moscow. That video was long enough, so I ain't want to, you know what I'm saying? Apple was like 3,000 rupees or whatever. They were saying that was like $5 an apple, basically.
Wow.
I enjoy Red Delicious. I like Granny Smith. I ain't paying no damn $5 for one, that's for sure. That
That's
better be the
crazy.
best damn apple I ever had.
Oh my God.
That's what
How
they dealing
Russians
with.
standing for that? How Russians standing for that with Vladimir Putin? Like, if you got that kind of economic report card, how the hell are they standing? Fear is really that controlling for Russians right now?
You gonna say
Like,
something to him, Cat?
I'm telling you, there's a point of no return with me. I ain't enduring hardship and smiling and grinning. I would be a horrible slave. If I was back in the slave days, I would be causing problems because ain't no way in hell I'm gonna live a life of misery and be like, well, I hope my son's not mad with me today. That don't work for me, brother.
Van Cat be on the plantation trying to form a union.
The damn real. Damn real. Damn real. 100%.
Van Cat be trying to unionize the plantation.
I just don't understand how human beings are okay with the minority telling the majority what to do.
But
Like, that don't compute to me.
that's
You
just
see
it.
Bones. You see what Bones said. Bones said Putin ruled with an iron fist.
Yeah, but here's the thing about that, though. I think that Putin's time is almost coming to a close. I hate to say it because that's my favorite line, but I just don't foresee him being in power that long. I don't know what it is, but I just foresee either something's going to happen between now and maybe 2 years from now where he's going to be ousted. As for how he's going to be ousted, I don't know. You can come up with any imagination. I mean, this is Russia we're talking about here, but it wouldn't surprise
Shout
me.
out to Bones real quick. Shout out to Bones.
Yes, sir. Also, Bones, congratulations for joining the Fatherhood Club, man. It's a
Oh
beautiful
man,
thing.
yeah. Hey, shout out to you, man. Hey, good
Yeah.
luck. I'm
So
done. Good luck.
he said, "I'm done." You don't know that, MD.
No, it's a done deal, bro. It's a wrap. It's a wrap.
It's a wrap.
You see that now, but this is what happens when, and again, MD and Venkat, the Russian Federation, because we say Russia, but it's actually a federation of countries, or put together. I think it's colonies. I can't remember how they do it, but it is the entire damn world. So they bank a lot on the resources of them having like petroleum and oil. But the problem with that, like the piece says, is that you can only bank on that for so much. It's kind of like how the UAE, United Arab Emirates, knows they're going to run out of oil at some point. So this is why you see them build up all this tourism and all that stuff. You have to bank on something else as a fallback. You know what I'm saying? It can
You're
only push
100% right on that.
and this is something that I learned when I was in college, where my professor was like, it's being built up so much. It's not because they want to build up, it's because they know at some point the oil is going to run out. And then what do you do then? Do you then go, oh my God, the oil ran out? No, you're going to have to find something to pivot next to. And that for them is.
Ricardo, not only that, though, you're right. You're 100% right. But not only that, the fact that the innovation in technology where we got renewable energy now make the shit obsolete. They said it in the video. Why would you bleed your land dry when you can get energy from wind and solar and so on? So why would you do that?
The industrialized complex. That's why. It's like it's scary in a sense because like the and I've said this from the get go. Everything now is connected, and when one country you think, oh, it's not going to bother me over here, it never does. Remember, we all learned this about world wars. Eventually it comes to your doorstep, and what do you do then? Do you go, oh, I'm America first? No, you're gonna have to participate in it because your economy essentially gets dragged into it. Everything gets dragged into something. There's a connectedness to everything. But for to watch the piece, and it states it quite clear. At some point in time, Russia's economy will collapse. Is the world prepared for that? Like we've heard countries like Argentina's inflation going astronomically high. We've seen Venezuela. I don't even know where they stand right now in terms of their, and these are countries that have been doing or performing well for years. To see like a country, case in point, Argentina, now literally like their money doesn't even, it's not even worth that much. It's
Yeah.
crazy economics for you to see it was probably the most progressive growing country in probably in our modern time, and to see Argentina now to where it is, like you literally have to go, what the fuck happened? Like literally y'all just like screw that up. How? It's the same thing with Russia. Like they back so much on, I don't know if it's this complex that they have where they think, where if it, we're such a large landmass, we could get away with it. At some point in time, you will cut down as many trees as you can in Siberia. You could drill to the deepest, because they have the deepest lake in the world there, Lake Baikal. We've seen how they literally destroyed the Aral Sea. I don't know if you guys know about the Aral Sea. It was the fourth largest lake on Earth. Literally, you can't even find the Aral Sea now. It's literally dry. It's a literal dead sand, sand desert, whatever you want to call it. There's nothing there. They literally drown or drench out all the resources they have. So then what? You have to pivot somewhere. So you're gonna now what? Try to invade another country just to do it, like, and then even invading now doesn't mean that much. The video also brought up a good point, because now the European Union doesn't even. I think their thing was in the beginning was, we rely so much on Russia, but then European Union doesn't really need Russian oil because they can get it from Norway. Norway has so much oil in its seabed, not to mention the North Sea has so much oil. They can literally pivot to that and then gain all that resources. Not to mention, I believe Canada is now entertaining the thought of doing LNG, which I'm not a huge fan of. But if they could find a way to clean it, because it's not one of the safest way to get oil. But at this point in time, the way the world's going, it's the best alternative to get. So you have to weigh the cost and the benefits of stuff. And I think the Russian, like I said, I don't see Putin staying that long in power. I see somebody ousting him. I don't know. You can come up with anything in your imagination as to what that means, but I see that happening sooner than rather than later, because we all know how their revolution started back in the day. I believe they had a Russian revolution at one point. Remember how the French Revolution started? People got hungry. People got tired. They're gonna revolt, and when they do revolt, it's chaos. So we'll see what happens.
Russia did the Venkat is what they did. Remember in during World War One, they took advantage of the situation with the Tsar and him abdicating or whatever, and they took advantage of it.
Yep.
And they did the quote unquote Soviet workers revolution, and that's what jumped it off.
I mean, it hasn't been
That's what
seen.
jumped it off.
It hasn't been the same since. So, it's one of those things. I wish them well, though. I mean, for all those people that are packing up shop and going over there because they think it's better, I wish you well. Because as much as this country has its faults, don't get me wrong, it has plenty of faults. But I would never pick up myself to say I'm going to Russia, the Russian Federation, because I'm unhappy here. Nope, I'd rather pick up myself and go somewhere else. I'll go to Africa at some point than to go there. But, we'll see what happens.
I'm gonna tell you straight up, bro. Russia must fall. At the country of the Russian Federation as we know it's got to fall, because what they're trying to do is do a sleight of hand, almost try to trick you into think that this economic force with the whole shit with BRICS, and Trump just put the secondary sanctions on India because India still want to buy that cheap Russian gas, that cheap Russian oil. So he put the secondary sanction on. I mean, you can't blame them, but you're not giving them no secondary option. So Trump he's just a dumbass all around, man. And like I said, it's going to end up putting more of a strain on Russia, but at the same time, bro, you could have did something as far as sanctions a long time ago. Last I checked, you said you was gonna end the war in 24 hours. Whole nother story, you know. Whole nother story. You knew what it was when you got in the door, man. You knew this shit wasn't gonna stop just because you tell them to. Who the hell you think you is?
Well,
if you keep on, you gonna make them release the P tape is what you're gonna do.
Well, we'll see what
I think he
happens.
got a P tape.
We'll see what happens next week when Zelensky and Putin and him sit down. According to him, there's going to be some.
I don't think it's gonna happen, man. I'm just gonna be honest. I don't think it's
You're
gonna
not gonna believe the lies this time, MD. How could you, man? He said he's gonna do. He's gonna do it.
That's some bullshit, man. Vatcat, you got anything else on this?
Nah, Russia just seems to have even harder times than I suspected coming up.
Well, we've reached that time. It is time. The duck must reap another soul when he ain't had his field yet. Like I said, you reap what you sow. The duck comes for us all. It's time for another edition. And I got to get it set up here so the gong gonna ring for a minute. This one here is a doozy, folks. We're talking about the legendary Prince of Pan-Africanism, Dr. Umar Ifatunde. Damn, where's the video at? I can't find the video now. Oh, hell. Oh, there we go. Dr. Umar Johnson, this week's trash bag human.
Trash bag.
Duck of the week. All right, let me get the video ran up here. Oh, hell. See, this phone like that. All right, here we go.
For who the bell tolls.
Donations.
Peace and Pan-Africanism, peace and Pan-Africanism. This is your big brother, Dr. Umar Ifatunde Oguntade. I'm live and direct at the Frederick Douglass Marcus Garvey Academy. And I just wanted to give a special shout out to my Chicago African family on this day, September the 18th, 13 years ago, September the 18th of 2010. I came to Chicago by the invitation of our ancestor, brother Dawa Yisrael of the great and mighty Hebrew nation. He invited me to his public access television platform to be interviewed on Chicago's public access television network. That was on September the 18th of 2010, which was the anniversary of Booker T. Washington's Atlanta Cotton Exposition speech. He was also a fellow Pan-Africanist educator. And here we are 13 years later, about to complete the final touches on the opening of the first school in American history built by the entire African diaspora. African people from every continent, every country, every community have donated to this school right here. So I just want to say thank you to Chicago. By the will of the Almighty Most High God, we would not be here with FDMG today if it wasn't for you. You helped give birth to the Prince of Pan-Africanism. And of course, 6 weeks later, I'll be thanking my New York City African family because on October the 30th of 2010, that's when I did my Harlem debut lecture. And equipped with the copies of DVDs from that Chicago interview on September the 18th of 2010, my name became known to the world. Garveyism was reborn, and Pan-Africanism went back to the forefront of all conscious political ideologies in a way that it hasn't been since the days of the most honorable Marcus Garvey. So I just want to say thank you. It's been 13 years. I want to thank you guys for keeping me at the top of this movement as the most revolutionary, as the most real, okay, as the most requested, okay, and as the only relevant institution builder among the prominent names in the conscious community. I'm still here 13 years later as number one. Chicago, thank you. And to African people all over the world on behalf of the FDMG Academy, we thank you. Peace and Pan-Africanism. 13 years later, I love y'all.
Donations.
I told my son, my youngest, he's 27 years old, he was raised appropriately, he works, he has a profession, okay? I told him, I'm coming to Birmingham to see you. He said, oh, I said, I'm going to see Umar Johnson. He went, no, Mum, you're going to see Dr. Umar. And I said that was great. Then I told him how I watched you the other day on WhatsApp about your honey bunnies, no white bunny, chocolate bunny, which color bunny, and you was promoting all our black sisters. Do you know what my son said to me? He said, Mum, I understand all that. But and I'm just going to quote what my 27-year-old said to me, who actually knows about you. Well, I don't know what he knows, but what he said was, Mum, why is it, if he's talking about representing the black sisters, and the black sisters, our brothers need to know who we are, and be dating the black sisters in the community, or go and find them in every other race. He said, why is it that Dr. Umar has please let me just say this, right? Why does he have 3 children with 3 baby mothers? And if they're all black queens, why has he not taken one of those queens and made them his absolute queen, and showed the black brothers that no matter what children you have, one of your mothers should be your permanent wife? That's what my son said to me.
Donations, gifts, gifts, gifts for black excellence.
You know, you've been getting a lot of slack about your school. People saying, what's going on with the school?
I love the good and the bad. Let them hate.
So
hate is the oxygen I use to elevate. Hate me if you want.
Tell them, when we talked about the school, first give them an update of where you are with the school.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So, first of all, 2014, I took my first donation for FDMG in St. Louis, Missouri. 2019, we purchased a 4-building former black charter school campus in Wilmington, Delaware. That's where we are. This is 2025, so 5 years to buy the school, 6 years to renovate the school. Right now, all renovations are done except we got to tile the floor and rekey the classrooms. Cosmetic surgery. Once we tile the floor and rekey the classrooms, which will be done by the end of this summer, we're going to apply for our certificate of occupancy. And once we get our certificate of occupancy, we're going to have a grand opening celebration, and all y'all better be there. But if you hated on me, keep your ass in Cleveland. More gifts. More gifts.
Peace and Pan-Africanism, peace and Pan-Africanism. Peace and Pan-Africanism, peace and Pan-Africanism. This is your big brother, Dr. Umar Ifa Tunde Oguntade, Intercontinental Ifa Tunde RB Jesus, coming to you live and direct from Philadelphia. I have a very important message. I'm only going to keep you about 5 minutes. I have a very important message. I'm only going to keep you about 5 minutes. Peace and Pan-Africanism to my continental Africans. Peace and Pan-Africanism to my Australian Africans. Peace and Pan-Africanism to my Caribbean Africans. Peace and Pan-Africanism to my Africans in Europe and Asia. Peace and Pan-Africanism to my Brazil and my South American Africans. Peace and Pan-Africanism to Panama and Costa Rica, my Central American Africans. Peace and Pan-Africanism to my Canadian Africans. Peace and Pan-Africanism to my New York, my Carolina, my Texas, my Phoenix, my Philly, my Jersey, my Maryland, my Baltimore, my Georgia, my Florida, my Arkansas, Alabama, Detroit, Chicago, St. Louis, Kansas City Africans. It's your big brother King Kong. I need y'all to listen up. I got a very important announcement. I'm only going to keep you a few minutes. This morning, I received a text message from one of my homies. He needed Dr. Umar to send him a couple dollars. This morning, I received a text message from one of my homies. He needed Dr. Umar to send him a couple dollars. I logged into my account just to check my balance because I haven't done so since I left for South Africa back on July 10th. Only to discover that I could not log into my account. So then I called the bank to find out what was going on. And the bank told me to enter my 16-digit card number. I did that. They told me they had no record of my account. The bank that I've been with since I was a teenager told me
They had no record of my account. So then I called the bank, and the bank told me that my personal account, as well as the independent Frederick Douglass Marcus Garvey Academy account, have both been frozen. Both bank accounts have been frozen. Both bank accounts have been frozen. And I was told that there is an investigation into my personal account as well as the school account. I asked them, was this due to suspicion of any fraud on my part? I was told that it was not due to suspicion of any fraud on my part, but I was told that it was due to suspicion of fraudulent activity. I was told that someone has been trying to gain access to my personal account and the FDMG account. I was told that someone has been trying to gain access to my personal account and the FDMG account. I was told that someone has been trying to gain access into my personal account and the FDMG account. Brothers and sisters, if you have sent a donation to FDMG, let's give it until the end of the month to see if this gets cleared up. They have given me no definitive timeline as to when their investigation will conclude. They have given me no definitive timeline as to when their investigation will conclude. If you have sent a check or money order donation to FDMG, let's wait until August the 1st, Black August, and see if this situation has gotten cleared up. They told me they sent me a letter to this point on July the 10th, the day that I left for South Africa. I was told that the timeline of suspicious activity was June 25th to July the 10th. I was told that the timeline for suspicious activity was between June 25th, that's when Medea went public. That's when Medea went public. Everybody knows who Medea is. July 25th, that's when Medea went public. July the 10th, that's when I left for South Africa. July the 10th, that's when I left for South Africa. So y'all know my suspicion. I believe Medea and Pastor Bussy were fraudulently trying to get into my account. And if we find out that's the case, they will be sued and possibly arrested, because fraudulent activity on a bank account is a federal offense. Fraudulent activity on a bank account is federal offense. Fraudulent activity on a bank account is a federal offense. Again, June 25th to July 10th is the period of suspicious activity. That is from the time Medea went public and I left for South Africa. Between the time Medea went public and I went for South Africa. So brothers and sisters, if you want to make a donation to FDMG, you must send it to PayPal. Hold off on the checks and money orders until the situation is resolved. Hold off on all FDMG Academy money order and check donations until the situation is resolved. If you want to make a donation to FDMG, send it through PayPal. Right? PayPal.me/FDMG Academy. PayPal.me/FDMG Academy. PayPal.me/FDMG Academy. If you want to make a donation to the school, hold off on checks and money orders until we find out what the hell is going on. The bank is investigating the fraudulent attempts on our account. If I find out Medea and Pastor Bussy had anything to do with this, I was told that they can be arrested for federal offense. I was told they can be arrested for federal offense. I was told they can be arrested for federal offense. Now, with that being said, brothers and sisters, Dr. Umar has access to no money right now because my personal account contains all of my money. I only send it to Apple Pay and PayPal as necessary. So the Prince of Pan-Africanism, for the first time in my life, is without any digital currency. So for my loyal supporters out there, if you can spare a few dollars so I can take care of Queen Mother Ifa Tunde and myself until my bank account is frozen or canceled so I can get my money back and open up a new account, please hit my Apple Pay or hit my PayPal. My personal PayPal account is Umar the Psychologist
at yahoo.com. So that's paypal.me/Umar the psychologist. PayPal.me/Umar the psychologist. PayPal.me/UMARTHEPSYCHOLOGIST. PayPal.me/Umar the psychologist, or hit my Apple Pay using my cell number 215-989-9858. 215-989-9858. I've never asked the people for $1. I have never asked the people for $1 in my life. I have never asked the people for $1 in my life. I've only asked you to donate to the FDMG Academy for Boys. I don't have any sons. I have 2 daughters. So the FDMG campaign is a self-project, mission, and service to provide our boys with the education that they deserve. But right now, I don't have any money because my account was frozen by my bank because someone has been trying to hack into my account, hack into FDMG Academy account. So the FDMG Academy account is frozen. My personal account is also frozen. That means we're going to lapse on our utility bills. We're going to lapse on our internet bill. We're going to lapse on a lot of our bills at FDMG. The bank is not giving me a timeline as to when this situation is going to be resolved. If I don't have Cash App, nor does FDMG have Cash App. I do not have a Cash App. I only have Apple Pay and PayPal. If you can spare a few dollars, send it to my Apple Pay, 215-989-9858, 215-989-9858, or my PayPal, paypal.me/Umar the psychologist. Although Leo season is off to a rocky start, brothers and sisters, we will overcome. Shout out to all my donors. Newark, New Jersey, I'ma see you. Nat Turner, I'ma see you. Mobile, Alabama, I'ma see you. New Orleans, Louisiana, Hurricane Katrina, I'ma see you. Kenya, January, I'ma see you. FDMG is coming. We just got to lay down on floors, brothers and sisters. Lay down on floors, and we applying for a certificate of occupancy. I don't have any money in my pocket because my account is frozen. If you could send a few dollars to Dr. Umar for Apple Pay or PayPal, I would greatly appreciate it. Black Queens forever. Snow Bunnies never. Enjoy your weekend. Leo season forever. Peace and Pan-Africanism.
That was unbelievable.
Hey, could you spare a couple dollars? That's all he asking for. His accounts are frozen. Now, I don't know who Medea and Pastor Bussy. I don't know. I don't know who these people are that he referred to. but he's claiming that they done did something to their account. Now, Ricardo Venkat, correct me if I'm wrong. I'm not. Yeah. I don't know how these financial institutions work, but I do know that I've had fraudulent activity on my account, both on my debit card as well as my checking and my savings account. I've had these things happen to me, as a lot of people have.
Yes, they have.
When it comes to your debit card, they automatically shut your debit card down, and they immediately issue you another one. They tell you it'll be at your house 7 to 10 days. Yes, now, sir. With the advent of like NFC and Apple Pay and Samsung Wallet, all that stuff, they instantly give you a digital debit card instantly. I done had it happen. I lost my wallet one time. I had to shut everything down. I cut my card off, and they instantly sent to my phone a digital debit card, what I could use while I was on the road, because I ain't got no access to no money, that I could use on the road where I can tap to pay instantly. Correct me if I'm wrong. Now, when it comes to my bank account, I've also had fraudulent activity on my actual bank account. They'll send you the email, say, hey, look, you got fraudulent activity on your account. Somebody been trying to get in or whatever. We're not going to shut the account down. We're going to change your account number. I done had it happen. Where you still got access to your money if you go like in a bank. Of course, you can't use your bank card or nothing like that no more until you get a new one. but they literally give you a new account number and a new route number. I done had it happen. Now, I'm confused. They froze your account based on fraudulent activity, but don't give you no alternative to like get no money out. Usually that means, again, correct me if I'm wrong. Usually that means your account was frozen because they finna get ready to lien your money. Based on whatever conclusion they come with. Or they may say, hey, look, we've concluded our investigation. Your account shut down, whatever, we gonna give you the money through a check or come to the bank, get the money. Somebody lying is what I'm saying. I think the nigga account got froze based off of check fraud, monetary fraud, you scamming all these goddamn people about the school. That's a fact. And at one point in time, I was rooting for Dr. Umar. I was rooting for him. That was like 8 years ago.
You said that was 8 years ago.
So the duck has come for you. That's just what it is. And the duck says that it was fraudulent activity on your account. We putting the lien on it, and the cost is your soul. The duck has come. What y'all got on it, man?
Well, I didn't even know this happened. And my God, this is shocking to me. I'm not a fan of him. I'm not an anti-Dr. Umar. I'm not a fan either, but I just thought that thought he was just a regular activist. I didn't know this guy was into fraudulent stuff, but
he was
it just
always
looks
scamming.
bad. It just looks really bad. It's crazy, man. You can't
Hey,
put nothing into people.
Not only is he Ifatunde, he's also the Intercontinental Champion. You heard him say he was. So hey, he a man of many words, man.
Yes, sir.
He got the Intercontinental title. He the Prince of Pan Africanism, King Kong. Hey, he got it all.
He has
man.
all these aliases and names and whatnot. I mean, that's just tailor made. He at one point he was sounding like Trump.
Just repeating himself.
At one point he was talking about the repeating is just crazy, man. The repeating is just ignorant. I just can't believe it, man. Like, it's funny how we support things, whether it be a cause or entertainment or an entertainer, a movie, a actor, whatever. We buy tickets to see their stuff. We buy music. We buy movies. We do all these things to support these people. Then they go up after decades of getting your money, and now they Diddy, and now they Dr. Umar, and now they all these people that are just like trash bag is the absolute word, man. It's like you can't really trust like where your money going with a lot of people. You're thinking it's that you're supporting a good cause, and really he's just a grifter, another black grifter. That's all he is. And it just seems like the grifting has accelerated. In this decade, there's been from the PPP loans to the to Trump selling golden sneakers. I mean, we just grifting all over everybody grifting. And it's just kind of disheartening to see him, because I remember watching him on the Breakfast Club. Of course, all these guys at some level make some kind of point that you may agree. That's what gets you into making them look like they're legitimate. But that's bad, man. I can't get that out my head. I mean, every time I see this nigga, I'm gonna be thinking about this and him just like grifting off of his supporters. It's just crazy.
Yeah, I don't even know where to begin with this. I mean, Dr. Umar is like, if he's even a doctor at this market, everybody could claim they're a doctor these days. It's just like everybody's a model when they really something else, or I'm an influencer, and everything is so redundant. But this dude, he's so polarizing, because on one aspect he says something sometimes that makes he kind of reminds me of like the male version of what Candace Owens is. Like you will say something, he will say something at one point. You go, all right, you know what? It kind of sounds plausible, and then he will then do something or say something else, and you're like, what the hell are you talking about? So it's kind of like it's up and down. But I've always found him to be so conflicting because on one hand he's talking about the school that he keeps going on and on about, where he's like, it's gonna be finished in like this year. This year turns into next year turns into the next. It's like, when is this school gonna be finished? And then you're taking all these donations and all this stuff, and there's no results, sir. You can't. There's only up until a point where somebody's gonna know you're grifting and you're shysting and all of that. You're almost similar to the slick orange salesman here, where he will say something, repeat himself multiple times just to sound like he's plausible or smart, but really you're just coming off really redundant and batshit nuts. And it's sad that you're really tugging at the heartstrings of people with that the Pan Africanism, which to some people that still might serve some purpose, but it's kind of like, Umar, what are you doing? On one end, I don't know if you're aware of this too, where he always goes on and on about, oh, I can't be with the snow bunnies and all that. And it wouldn't shock me one bit that he's involved with the snow bunny. So I mean, Umar, you can't have your cake and want to eat it too. You have at some point have to acknowledge your lies and acknowledge the nonsense that you're doing. But this is not cool, my bro. This is just terrible all around. I'm sorry, but I can't take you seriously now. I mean, I couldn't take you seriously before, but I look at you so much more differently now. And I just don't know all these names, and I don't know who the hell is Upatunde, Ashuka, Mumu, Alize Shakas. I don't even know. All these damn, they just sound fictitious. Who is Medea? Is this Medea that acts in the movies and the play? And who the hell is a pastor? A pastor pussy? I don't know. I can't keep up with these names. I'm sorry, sir. It just come off like you making up stuff as you go along and ad libbing. This is crazy to me. Like, stop. At some point, just pull yourself aside and say, I'm not finishing this school ever. It's probably going to be finished in 2052. I don't even know. This is just bad. All around bad, sir.
Embarrassingly bad.
Stop it.
Yeah, it's real bad,
terrible.
man.
Next, stop.
It's
Just
bad.
stop.
And like I said, bro, can y'all hear me good? I don't know what the hell just happened to my hotspot. I don't know.
You fell
I had to
off, but
hook
we
up.
hear you. You good, you good.
Yeah, I had to hook up to my phone hotspot. I don't know why I don't know. But anyway, part of me still hope that the school open. Like, part of me, you know what I'm saying? Because I mean, it's a good thing for black boys. I ain't saying it ain't. But bro, come on, bro. Come on, bro. We talking about 2013, bro.
That's when this whole
We
thing
talking about
started?
12. Yeah, in 2013 he said in the video in 2013 when he took his first donation for the school.
Oh Lord. So he been spending the donation money. Oh my
Bro,
God.
He's been spending
like
the donation money on the snow bunnies. Where have you been, Van Cat? Keep up with the times. He's
I
been
didn't know
spending
this.
he's
I
been
didn't know
spending
this at
his money
all.
on the snow bunnies and his side pieces and every other woman that. I think there's like they found out he had like 4 different women last week. I can't even keep up with this man's melodrama, and it keeps coming back that he doesn't sound plausible at all. Like, you have faith in him, MD. I just don't see this school finishing. I think it's
I ain't got faith. I ain't got faith in him.
this is a
I got yeah.
Mm-mm. This seems like a Ponzi scheme on a donation of Pan Africanism 101. Like, it just don't make no sense. Nothing makes sense.
I'll tell you right now, this is the definition of a trash bag human right here. This is 100% qualified to be a lame duck trash bag human. Because yeah, it's crazy, man. Like the amount of things that we're seeing from people, and since 2020, we have been seeing a lot of like what's really been going on in the world, and it's just crazy. Like it really makes you lose faith. Well, that's already out the window. I've been lost faith in people, so I trash bag humans. But I can't trust people like that. Like, they're just trash, and like it just comes from all angles for no reason. Like, it's funny. Like, when Hulk Hogan died, like there's like this sentiment out there that like You can be a trash bag human all your life, and then when you pass away, somehow it's supposed to just skip or pass like what your life has overwhelmingly been, and just ignore all the bad that you've done, and somehow it's supposed to make everything right when you die. Like, fig that. That's your legacy. That's what you are. That's what you live with. So, Dr. Umar, clearly they don't think about it in the moment, but it'll come a time where it'll catch up to them. But that's just ridiculous, man. The same energy doing this nonsense, you could be doing productive things. He's been spending the money. There's no reason to believe, and he's a known, I guess you could call him a celebrity, a known person. He's been on all kinds of outlets, been seen. He's very high profile. How the hell from 2013 to now, that's over a decade, you want to do a school and like it's still in the works. And meanwhile, you're on the internet pandering for people to give you dollars like you're a friggin' strip club model. He wants a couple dollars. Man, please, nigga. I'm gonna put it right on your G-string, nigga. This is ridiculous. Big grown ass nigga coming up on the internet begging for money and whatnot when he been getting money all these years for nothing, and he misused the funds. Man, he need to prove like where that money been going. Because if I'm a person that get 2014 handing him over that money, I would like to know where did my money go. And that's the problem with people. You see it in government. The money comes from taxes, and then where it goes, that's a whole other thing. We're not efficient with this money. And people will say, well, oh, black people are so mistreated worldwide. But then when black people are put in the forefront or become leaders, then they end up doing the same thing. Yeah, I mean, that's not a black thing. That's a human thing. That's a human flaw. It's just crazy, though, man. Very disappointing because I thought he was an actual person that meant something, but I guess not.
Well, there you have it, man. The duck has claimed another one. So that's the end of the show, man. Like I said, it was going to be a lot of information. We went over 3 hours. I kind of figured as much.
Well, you know, we left out Big Balls. Big Balls got his balls busted. They beat his ass up, bloody, in Washington D.C.
I heard something about. Yeah, I heard something about that earlier today. Like, hey, it's a lot of shit. It's a lot of shit going on, man. It's hard to keep up when you're trying to put a show together. Man.
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah, but they trying to misrepresent. Fox News trying to misrepresent what it is. They reported it as, oh, he saved the girl. Nah, bitch. He saved the girl he was with, his girlfriend. Well, he tried to. I don't know if you can say save because his blood is everywhere. I don't know what he's saving. Damn sure he's saving his blood because he got his ass pummeled. Them guys was carjacking that girl in the car, and he was with her. It's not like they made it seem like as if he saw a woman being attacked, and out of nowhere he came to Captain Saberho just showed up and tried to save her, but he got beat up. That's not what happened.
And this was in D.C., right?
Yep. And now Trump is pissed. And Trump came out and said,
"You know what they're gonna try to say? You know what they're gonna try to say?
They want to take over.
They want to take over D.C. Federalize it.
Yep.
Federalize it.
Yeah. So when somebody that Trump knows gets beat up or gets taken advantage of, that's when we get federalized. Like, what kind of standard is that?
But how do we not? But how do we not know this has been orchestrated to do the very same thing we're talking about? I think this is my problem with this administration. There seems to be a lot of random events that happen, conveniently timed events. And then all of a sudden he says something where he's like, "Oh, and see, this is the reason why I gotta do this. This is all like, how do we not know you paid these people to beat you up to then make it look like it was something, astronomically like terrible, to then spin it with the spin doctors, which is now Fox News. I don't know how long that's gonna last, but this is what they do. And then here we are now talking about it. Like it just seems like it's too like repetitive to me. Like I need him to come up with new innovative ways now. Like this is just getting boring to me. Like it's the same playbook over and over again.
Fox News tried to say that it was like a bunch of guys that attacked him, and I think it was one or two guys because they were doing a carjacking. And there's been a lot of there was some sort of representative in the government that got killed, I think last year. I mean, there's been a lot of violence in Washington D.C. happening, but I don't
Bro,
understand.
have you been to DC? Have you been to DC before, Venkat?
No, I have not, but I heard enough.
I have.
You go out of the like the Capitol grounds, bro. It's the hood, bro. It's
Yeah.
the hood.
So Trump
It's the hood.
act like it's a new thing, and I don't understand how it can be a problem now that it affects somebody you knew or know. But it's been a problem. That's the problem. Like, you literally are in here to make the country safe, to make the country efficient, to make the country run right. And you're all up in Washington, D.C. You see the poverty, but you conveniently ignore it. And I don't understand how that's productive, because the
Trying to drain
more
the swamp.
people are off, the more people that are in bad situations, the worse it's going to get. And eventually it will come to you in a random moment, but it will come to you. So I don't understand how we feel good about like people dealing with less than. And I mean, you know, Trump might have his big balls moment. Well, obviously those balls ain't really that big because they took his ass out. There's blood everywhere.
Yeah, man. Like I said, a lot of shit going on, man. Of course, you know, with the Epstein saga, they put Ghislaine Maxwell in a swanky prison camp. She's laying in the shade. Now it's not even a prison. It's like a they said it was like a camp, like a worship
retreat.
camp almost.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. She laying in the shade drinking lemonade, man. Like and this is what I told y'all. You know, y'all saying, oh, you know, they gonna intimidate her into saying. I think she hold the cards, bro. I just do. I think she knows shit, man. If it get out to the media, bro, it'll blow your head off. You talking about Watergate, man? This will blow Watergate out the water, man.
Yes,
Some
sir.
of the stuff that she know, and I believe the information that she got, they gonna caught her to her every need, bro. That's just what's gonna happen. That's exactly what's gonna happen. So, like I said, a lot of stuff going on, man. But for this month, oh, that's him. Oh shit! I ain't see that. Damn.
They beat the hell out of Big Boss.
Damn.
He's a
He
little
might need to
dude
go
too.
back. He might need to go back with Elon, bro.
Yep.
Are they saying? Did they identify the people who tried to do the carjack?
I don't think they've caught them. No, not yet.
Did he say they were black?
I don't know if they were black. Probably are, but I don't know if they were black or not.
Damn. Hey man.
Look at just by the look at those shots in their face there, I would say they're probably black. They pound the hell out of him.
And what day this happened? Because I heard about the federalization stuff
last week.
Yesterday. It happened last week. Oh damn.
Was last week.
Hey man. Hey bro. It's a travesty, man. Like I said, and this will set up Trump to have his own personal Gestapo in Washington D.C. where he control. It's almost like he controlled that police, just like Hitler did. He gonna have his own personal SS in Washington D.C.
Yep.
Go get that nigga over there, and he'll be able to do it because it's his police force. If they federalize, you know, hey man, dangerous times we living in, bro. Dangerous times we live in. But that's all they beat his ass, man. I ain't see the picture.
He was probably talking slick, and you know.
Yeah, I just knew about when he was talking about federalizing DC and all that. Hey,
yeah,
man.
I put the video, it's Inside Edition video. I put it in the group chat.
Okay, all right. Yeah, I'm gonna have to check that out. So next week, continuing on with the series in August, the politics of guns. This gonna be a good one for Venkat.
Oh Lord,
it's gonna be a good one. We're gonna talk about a myriad of topics dealing with firearms and the military and stuff like that. So it should be a good show. And Venkat will tell us all why we should be instead of having guns, we should all be like medieval characters, swinging claymores and samurai swords and shit at each other.
It worked for McIntyre.
So that's what it is. So that's what we're gonna talk about next week. Episode 4, the politics of guns. So with that being said, MD signing out. Y'all want to give y'all sign out, man? We'll get the hell up out of here.
Yeah, another great episode here. The 2.0 edition of Tape Fist Politics is off and running. It's awesome, especially that duck. That duck is that's
Hell, I forgot to play the lame duck intro. Like I said, I had so much stuff. I forgot. I'll play it next week. It's all good.
Yeah, but we look forward to next week's. I mean, let's like MD said, man. There's just so many things going on. You can't keep track of all this stuff. It's just a lot of insane headlines right now. Even one guy that it's a Trump supporter at my job, another guy, he even said, man, my news feed is like just off the chains with all kinds of information right now. So it's a crazy time. And it's just 6 months in, and we still got 3.5 years to go.
It's like a year.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't think Trump is making it. He ain't gonna make that. He'll be out of there before the 4 years is up. And that's all I got for this week. Signing off till next week.
That's what's up. That's what's up. Ricardo, you got anything before we go?
Nah.
And one more thing. Happy birthday to MD, of course.
Yeah, appreciate it, man. Appreciate it. Like I said, man, I'll get over it tomorrow, man. But like I said, it's surreal thinking that you're 40. I'm like, damn, man. I'm at the halfway point. If I'm lucky, I get.
Exactly.
Well, don't forget
that's
your
the goal.
Spanish
I
flag
always
going
say.
forward.
No doubt. Well, hey, man, with that being said, bro, I guess we're going to get up out of here. I'll see y'all next week. I'll say this. I ain't keeping no promises or anything. I'm thinking about, and we'll still do the show over here, but I'm thinking about creating a TFP channel. If I do that, of course, we'll stream over there as well. Plus any other additional content that me or VanCat make will be over there on that channel as well. I'll give y'all the details if I do it. But I'm just thinking of doing a standalone Tape Fist Politics channel. I think that'll be more streamlined so we can try to branch out and, you know what I'm saying, like get away from anything that's MD related. Just random shit that I done did. And we'll put all the shows over there as well. But like I said, we'll talk about it. But other than that, man, hey, myself, VanCat Ricardo, shout out to Mike, wherever he may be. He might be at work. He might be asleep. I don't know. But we'll figure it out next week. With that being said, hey, I'm going to say peace, y'all.
Peace.
Peace.